All right. So, welcome everybody.
Hello.
We've got 4 rounds of Legacy coming your way. Kind of a small turnout today. Looks like about 13 players for Legacy, 42 for Modern though.
He said so far. I think we've gotten a couple more trickling in. I'm sure we
do. We always do.
Always last minute. I think he said that a while ago. But yeah, 42 people for Modern. Like, geez, Modern's just popular around here for some ridiculous reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't get it. But it's not about me.
It's a huge crowd in the room today.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool. Right, so we have pairings up for round 1, and we've got Matt versus Terry, and we've got Lennon versus Gordon. Now I think Terry's on Grixis Delver, and if this is the Matt that I'm thinking of, I think this is gonna be Reanimator? Question mark.
That'd be interesting.
Question mark.
I'm assuming Terry's on Grixis.
Yeah, Grixis Delver. It's either going to be Grixis or Grixis Delver. It's going to be one of the two. And he's been talking about Delver a lot like this last week, so I figure that's probably what he's on today.
Welcome, Bato-sai. Nice to see you.
Hey, what's up? What is up?
So we got people shuffling up. Lennon
on the left.
Yep, Lennon was on...
He played Painter on Tuesday.
He didn't do too well with it, but he might be giving it another go.
Yeah, let's not make any assumptions.
He might be on Goblins as well.
He's been on Goblins before. And then Gordon's usually playing Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Batusai. Much love. Thank you. Throwing us that sub.
So let us know what you want to watch, guys, because these are some pretty interesting matchups, I think.
Let's get our round timer all fixed up so people can see that.
Round timer.
20. I think it's 1950.
Oh, 1950.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I forget. I'm not used to Fridays. Fridays, we start a half an hour later than we do on Tuesdays.
It really bugs me that some of these are labeled wrong. We'll get it.
Any Stoneblade or Infect? The only Stoneblade player I could think of would be Terry, so I guess we'll see what he's on. I think he's on Grixis Delver though. And then Infect is kind of like a hit or miss for our store. Sometimes we'll see it like 2 different copies, and sometimes we'll see 0. So I'm really not sure. It kind of is one of those things with our meta, is that so many people can build so many decks here. Not only that, but we're kind of a tight niche group where like if you want to play something, you just to our little local Facebook group, you can just be like, hey guys, I want to play this week. Like, can anyone help me?
Yeah,
and you have 20 people like, hey man, I can help. I don't think I'm gonna be there this Friday, so let's do this.
Yeah, switching things up a little bit today. Evening, Jorgensen. Good to see ya.
Yeah, Brian, we'll talk about that later.
All right, so this definitely looks red-black Reanimator-ish, and Matt starting off with some lootings into an unmask here. He sees the coast is clear. He's able to reanimate Gristlebrand, and Terry's just going to scoop it up to that. He had a hand of a couple dazes and the like, and an Inquisition, but...
I looked down for a second. Game 1's already over.
Yeah, Game 1 is over. So we're going to switch over here while they're off to sideboarding.
You know, this is going to be interesting watch. You know,
like Lennon is on Goblin.
Reanimator is definitely a deck that's like a Game 1 deck, right? You get to take advantage of the fact that nobody really has Graveyard Hate Game 1, and if you have a decent hand, you're probably going to win it, you know? How's it going, Kripamies? God, welcome in, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome in. I'm excited to have some Legacy here for you.
Storm.
Yep. Goblins and Storm.
I'm not sure what build of Storm yet, but...
I think he usually plays Ant. But I think that's kind of the favored...
Yeah, unless you're Brian Cook, it's probably the favored one at the moment. Past in Flames in hand for Gordon. Doesn't look like he's got much in the way of fast mana. He does have an LED, and it looked like a Dark Ritual.
Something to mention about this matchup.
Might be 2 LEDs.
I don't think Goblins has a lot to interact with Storm at all.
Yeah,
I'm like,
as long as Gordon's able to kill relatively quickly, it shouldn't be much of a problem. Game 1, he doesn't have any mana denial, really. Like, he could try to wasteland a non-basic, but Gordon should be playing around that.
Yeah, definitely.
And Storm runs enough basics that it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
No Rishadan port to cut off a mana source either.
I think that most decks that are creature type oriented or tribal or whatever you want to call them, I think that most of them have the potential to kill very quickly. However, I don't think Goblins typically does. And I know it can kill quickly, but I don't think these are normal hands for them.
Sure.
And like, if we know anything from Magic's history, combo tends to be aggro, and I just don't think that the mid-range game that Goblins has to offer is just, I just don't think it's good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to find out, of course.
It's definitely a huge uphill battle, and I think we'll see a very quick game 1, kind of like we saw on our other match.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see the hand here. So we've got, the spell, what's the one that bounces a creature?
Sting Scourger.
Yeah, that one. And then we got a Ringleader and a Wasteland and an Aether Vial. Now,
not a very aggressive hand.
Looking at this, how would you feel if you were in Lennon's shoes?
I'd be feeling a little bit disappointed to see my hand get torn apart here and know that my draw is not really lining up. But
I don't think he has a draw that's going to fix this one. I mean, I'm willing to be surprised. I'd be happy. I'd be ecstatic to see an upset.
One thing that could happen is Gordon, if he does go for an ad nauseum plan, he could fizzle if he's at a low enough life total.
He could, and that's exactly why Lennon needs to be putting pressure on him. But we know that Pass in Flames is already in Gordon's hand. I think he'll be able to.
He did shuffle it away, but I believe I saw the flicker of an Infernal Tutor. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he did have an Infernal Tutor, 2 LEDs.
So it shouldn't be a problem for him to get high enough on Storm Count. Looks like...
Yep, crashing for 2 here.
Looks like Gordon might be going for it this next turn.
Yeah, I think so. The thing is looking at Lennon's board, and especially after seeing his hand, if I'm Gordon, I'm not in any rush. He does not need to win this turn.
Sure.
He has at least 1, probably 2 or 3 turns left.
Yeah, if he's on the edge at all, he should definitely wait.
But yeah,
if he's got it, he should just go.
He might even have 4 turns. This is not gonna kill quickly. So he's got a petal. Okay, there's a Dark Rit, 2 petals.
Yeah, I think he's got enough to go for it if he wants to.
Yep, he's gonna break out his power because.
Yep.
If anybody's seen Gordon before, he likes to use his Black Lotus as his storm counter, and he likes to use his Moxes as his mana pool.
Sure.
Hey, how's it going, Kylie?
Hey, Kylie.
Recognizable people.
All right, so 3 black mana in pool, 2 storm.
I think we can wrap this one up.
I think that's going to be a win for Gordon.
I think so too. As much as I want to watch the end, I don't want to miss the other match.
All right. So underway here. Matt took a couple of mulligans here.
He did. And Terry started off with an underground, and then Matt, just for his turn 1, just played a petal and Bloodstained Mire, just passed the turn back. So Terry's going to main phase Brainstorm here, and we'll see.
He's got the fetch to shuffle away what he doesn't want. If you're Terry, these are the games that you feel a lot stronger with. You're bringing in cards that are very powerful, like Surgical Extraction.
Yeah.
You've got counter magic to back up your play.
Yep.
Reanimator has to keep X number of hands that can't fight through the hate.
So Matt needs to play around Daze.
Yep.
He needs to be able to power through Force of Wills, and he needs to be able to beat Surgical Extraction. And I'm not saying that Terry's going to have all of those things, but that's what Matt is going. That's what Matt fears is those. Yeah. I think those 3 cards specifically, and Terry's looking for those 3 cards. Mm-hmm. But since Matt mulliganed, it's gonna mean that I would even guess that 1 Force of Will could be enough to just close this match
it definitely could be. And the card that you want to see if you're Matt is you really want to see some Faithless Lootings in here.
Yes.
So you can leverage the cards that you do have. Looks like Matt has Entomb and possibly a Duress.
I like Duress. I mean, those are the card. I think those are probably the best cards that he could possibly have right now. As something to say, hey Terry, what you got over there?
Sure.
Let's see how you're going to interact with me, so I can build a plan.
Start building that game plan, making it a little bit better. It's going to be easier for you to figure out how to make things go. So we're going to see Entomb in response to the Wasteland. Wasteland, a really strong play by Terry.
Yeah, this is brutal. So Force of Will is gonna get played here, and he's gonna pitch True Name Nemesis. Now I think Terry also has a Daze. This is a great hand from Terry. Like I don't think that Matt's gonna be able to power through this. Yep. Whoa boy. All right, we've got a Delver and we've got
a Gurmag,
Mr. Big Fish himself.
Mm-hmm.
And now Matt's got a lot to deal with. He has no mana. He has no big creature in the graveyard.
Yep.
Okay. And
he does have a Reanimate in hand,
but he still also play Daze.
It's going to be pretty slow. Like at some point, that Reanimate's going to get turned off based on damage here.
Yes.
And
it's going to happen very
taking
quickly.
8 damage a turn. I think this is the last possible turn that he could cast that Reanimate.
On our other table, it looks like Ad Nauseam was finally cast, and he cast Ad Nauseam with 15 life. So looks pretty promising for the Storm player.
And 4 mana available pre.
Yeah.
Yep. So Gordon's going to take that one.
Definitely. Yep, he dropped down to 4 life. Plenty of wiggle room.
And over here we see Terry getting in for 8, playing another Delver.
Yeah, so Terry doesn't like to flip his Delvers. He just puts a 3 to show, hey, this is flipped and this is coming in.
Yeah.
It's not a deck that typically uses +1/+1 counters or anything like that, so it's usually pretty clear to the opponent like what's going on with the Delver. And of course, he'll announce his trigger and say, hey, this is a flipped Delver. You know what it does. We good.
Yep.
And, we're Legacy players. I think we know what a flip Delver looks like.
Yeah.
And do you really want to see the flip Delver?
And with the rules changes that have happened, it's not even a different converted mana cost, so it doesn't really matter in terms of
yeah, definitely
engineered explosives or anything like that. Yep. So we're going to see a Daze here, and that's going to do it for a game.
Yeah, it looks like Matt's going to pick up his cards. Mm-hmm. I mean, he found the Faithless Looting. He just couldn't seem to find any mana. The Wasteland was timely and very powerful.
Very quick 2 games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our backup match is
we're
shuffling as well. So welcome to Paragon City Shuffle Camps.
Paragon City Shuffle Camps.
Trademark.
Yeah, we just we want to bring you guys consistency, and the 2 things that we want to bring you mostly is Magic and shuffling.
Yeah.
Which are not the same thing, I guess.
I don't know. I think they're very closely linked.
Yeah, I guess they are. I guess for the second one we'll just put mediocre commentary.
Oh, okay. Trademark.
You can count on that.
Trademark.
You can count on it so heavily that I totally forgot to go grab a water.
Oh man.
I might even have to
Well, you've
leave.
got time. You can do that.
All right, you guys watch the shuffle cam.
All right.
I'll leave you with Matt for a moment.
Sounds good.
Don't count your moment too fast.
So if you're Matt, I think you're looking for a hand that has a quick kill backed up by a Chancellor on the play. You're really hoping that you can get get that down and prevent Terry from being able to interact with your combo before you're able to go off. Other things that you're looking for are interactive spells like your discard, so Thought Seizes, Duresses, anything like that. Collective Brutality if it gets brought in. Those are the types of cards that you're really looking to see on the play for Reanimator. On Terry's side, he's looking to see Surgicals, he's looking to see Force of Wills, he's looking to see anything that he can use to kind of slow Matt down and bring the game to a point where he can overpower.
Definitely. I actually think that this Grixis Delver deck, I mean, we've seen it with Deathrite, but honestly, I don't think that the way that Grixis Delver interacts with Reanimator has changed a whole lot since Deathrite, other than the fact that Deathrite actually does hit things in the graveyard. But the counter magic is powerful, you know?
Yep.
And I think that
you see Terry just kind of praying there a little bit, hoping that he can have a game where he actually plays.
He needs at minimum a daze, at minimum, and honestly, a daze might not be enough. He really wants Surgical Extraction.
So
that's
Matt's looking at a hand with Chancellor. If he has the right cards, he might be able to. Interesting. So Matt brought in Wear Tear. Looks like so. Matt is going to keep this hand. Reveals Chancellor pre-game.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the matchup for Wear Tear.
Right.
Maybe Matt doesn't know that though. Maybe he thinks that there are ley lines, or he thinks that
he could be worried about ley line.
Or
that's the only reason that I can think of.
A Grafdigger's Cage? I don't know. Grixis Delver doesn't usually run stuff like that. Not usually.
So good news
I can tell
here,
you Terry's not.
Good news here for Matt is he gets to do everything here pretty much uninterrupted. With
turn one with the Chancellor. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know. All right. Let's discard a Chancellor and a Gristlebrand. Huh.
All right.
Seems great. Okay, so we're all set up, right? Like Matt's got Cabal Therapy. He can name whatever he thinks is the most threatening.
Yep. The only problem here is that in giving Terry a turn here, Terry is able to possibly interact by paying 2 life for Surgical, and then using the mana to pay for the trigger on the.
It would have to be Surgical.
Chancellor.
It would have to be Surgical, and you know what? I bet you Terry has 3. I bet you he's got 3.
It could be Force of Will as well. He can Force of Will as well.
Yes, he can Force of Will as well. That is true. But I don't think Matt's too worried about Force of Will, and I don't think so.
Matt can definitely check and make sure the coast is clear.
Matt's got a lot of cards. Like this is looking pretty good for him at the moment. I could definitely see how this could fall apart, but it also looks like Matt has drawn a couple of the cards that interact with Terry's board state. I think he may have overboarded on this one, because I'm pretty sure I think I see an Abrade and a Wear Tear.
Yeah.
Not exactly what you want. He does have an Entomb, he has a Cabal Therapy. Here's going to be Cabal Therapy. Here comes
Therapy. And Terry gonna float.
Okay, so here's Force of Will.
Okay.
Now at this point, Terry, this is kind of a bluff in my opinion. Terry's saying, I need him to think I have Surgical.
But Terry also has second Force of Will.
Oh, he does have second Force of Will. Yep.
So now is where things get really scary for Matt.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't see the second Force. This is actually going to be rough for him. Whatever. In fact, I would even say that the best possible thing Matt could do this next turn is play a third land and flashback Faithless Looting.
Probably, yeah.
He needs many more gas cards. Probably at least 2. Because Entomb doesn't help here. He already has what he needs in the graveyard. Okay.
So I think Terry was thinking about forcing and maybe decided not to. Hard to say right now.
Yeah, looks like he decided not to. That's kind of awkward. Matt definitely should have given him a better chance to respond. But
Right,
okay,
so
there's an Ashen Rider.
the good news here for Matt is that he has threats that are varied. So
Yes.
if he chooses to cast a card like Exhume, he might be able to beat Surgical anyway and just get the lesser of the two cards into play. So that is one way that he can try to fight through Surgical without hand hate.
Right. Now, we know that Terry doesn't have a Surgical, but I think Matt now knows that there's a second Force of Will.
Yes.
And did Matt just draw another big creature? I can't quite see.
Can't quite tell.
We'll stay here for a second, it's fine.
Looks like an Animate Dead in hand.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Animate Dead.
Yeah, this is gonna get countered, and that, you know what? That's okay. Like, we needed.
Yep, they'll get forced.
He needed to get this.
Third Force of Will. Terry thinking about what he wants to pitch here. So if he does the usual line of force, pitch, force, then he'll be kind of left in the lurch, so to speak, if Matt goes for it again next turn. But if he doesn't, then he's losing his cantrips and he's not any closer to finding a threat.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think that's something that we haven't quite mentioned yet, is that this plan for Terry being able to answer all of these things happening.
Yeah.
This plan only works if you have a creature to apply pressure while this is going on. Terry doesn't.
Here we see Reanimate.
Yep.
And this
top,
is another
top deck
half
Reanimate,
to
and this is
force.
a half to force. If Gristlebrand comes into play right now, Terry's dead. I don't think there's any possible way that this hits the board and Terry doesn't die. Yeah.
Yep.
Force of Will number 3. And now Terry's left with what? A
One
cantrip?
One land in hand, I believe.
It's just just a land. Yeah.
Blue Delta.
So here's Delta and pass. Okay. All right.
So Matt draws a second land, and I have to assume that there's another reanimation spell coming here.
The fact that he's fetching makes me think so. Yep, and he's just gonna grab a basic.
So unless that last card that Terry drew is pretty good.
It needs to be.
And this game's gonna be.
Needs to be days, right? Yep, there's Exhume, and yep, here comes Gristle Daddy, and looks like Reanimator's gonna get this one.
7, and Terry with no real cards in hand, one card in hand. Didn't get a glimpse of it, but he certainly doesn't seem happy with it. Just kind of off to the side.
No, of course not. So this last card is just going to get unmasked.
Yeah.
There's not really any reason not to cast Unmask here. He was going to have to discard to hand size anyway. He already has all the pieces that he needs in his graveyard.
Oh yeah.
And like Terry's on the top of his deck with nothing.
There's a wealth of choices here for Matt.
Yeah, Matt's in a wonderful position. So he's going to lose some life. He's not worried about, and he still has.
So,
he's going to 3?
For Terry to get back into this,
he needs to draw Lightning Bolt.
A Lightning Bolt would be amazing off the top.
Matt did not need to do this.
This might be a little bit too aggressive. Let's see if Terry drew anything to punish.
No, he drew Force of Will number 4. That was dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
There was that was because really, if he stays at 10, what's Terry gonna do?
You stay at 10, you force them to have an answer.
You just drew 7 cards. You're still at 10. You've got a Gristlebrand in play. You're golden.
Yeah.
How is Terry gonna beat you? And then he goes down to 3.
It looks like the window closed up again.
Don't you dare draw another 7 cards.
Let's see what happens here.
Don't you dare. Just Just reanimate your Chancellor or an Ashen Rider. Just or do nothing. Yeah, do nothing is great.
Looks like Matt's learned that might have been a little too low to go.
Is it True Name Nemesis?
True Name coming down, and again, if that had been in play before, then going to 3 would have been
right. Exactly. Well, I don't think he would do that in the face of a True Name Nemesis, but
sure.
His mind clearly wasn't on Lightning Bolt, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was an outer. And I bet you there's 3 or 4 of those 4 Lightning Bolts in the deck. Or how many do you...
Post board, it's hard to say.
Post board, it is hard to say. Yeah, good point. All right, so Force of Will is going to get unmasked. And
definitely could have been some.
Yep, here's Collective Brutality, and that's just going to finish the match. All right. So Reanimator takes round 1 over Grixis Delver, and we'll jump over to our Storm and Goblins match, and it looks like they're actually shuffling up. I wonder if Goblins got game 2.
When I took a glance over there, I saw that Goblins had a Chalice on 1, so it is very possible.
There you go.
Goblins got there.
Chalice is really good against Storm.
It is.
They can still they still have ways to get around it, but it's rough.
Oh yeah,
it's rough. I completely forgot that goblins had Chalice. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
So I'm gonna say it's 1-1 here.
Yep, definitely.
Looks like we came in at just the right time. Players making their choices on their hands and
goblins. Good to see a little bit of goblins coming back after that Deathrite ban. I don't know how many people were really that excited about it, but it looks like there's at least one.
Goblins is kind of an interesting deck for the format. I'm happy to see it as a piece of the format.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big one.
No.
I don't think it's a big piece, but it's definitely better than it was. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
This seems like a Mole to Chalice type of matchup. I agree. In fact, when I was thinking of this earlier, I was like, I can't even think of anything. So now that we know Chalice is hanging out over there.
Chalice is strong for sure.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to do just that.
Yep.
Yep. Let's see if we can find it. And I'm sure Gordon's boarded in his plan against Chalice.
Yep. Likely Abrupt Decays, possibly Echoing Truth, something along that line.
Probably both.
Yep.
Probably some amount of both.
Sometimes they'll run like Hercule's Recall or something like that, which has the added benefit of hitting cards like Aether Vial and Trinisphere and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see which one Gordon has.
We got some Lennon fan. Got a Lennon fan here.
Looked like Gordon scried a Ponder on top.
Is that a double Vial hand? Is he actually gonna like?
That's a tough one.
That does not look like a good hand to me.
Does it have a port? I couldn't see. It looks like he's gonna keep.
I think this looks like a Storm match. Sorry, guys.
All right, so
maybe I shouldn't be speaking too soon, but it sure looks that way.
Here comes Wooded Foothills. Have to assume Vial's going to be the play.
Yeah, I want to say he actually has been doing pretty well with Goblins. He tried Painter last week and didn't do too well, but yeah, we've seen him go like 2-2 and like 3-1 with
red-white Goblins. Yeah, interesting. What's the white splash for?
Hopefully sideboard stuff for his case.
If he has like Aethersworn Canonist or something like that the board, man, that's
a weird looking goblin.
That'd be some spice.
Wait a minute, it's not a goblin at all.
Aether Vial's not a goblin either.
Could you imagine Gordon like playing Darkrit as his first card and you just file in Aethersworn Canonist in response?
Yeah, so we see Abrupt Decays are in for Gordon.
Definitely.
Gordon has to play kind of a funny dance here with his lands though. So if he fetches up a non-basic, then he can get wastelanded.
Yep, and he will. Lennon's got one.
But if he doesn't, then he doesn't leave himself the opportunity to cast something along the lines of Abrupt Decay on turn 2.
Yep.
So it's kind of a weird spot for Gordon to be in. Thalia would be an interesting
Yeah, Thalia
one.
would
Yep.
be a good sideboard card, for sure.
So Gordon's starting off with a Ponder here. He sees Brainstorm, Preordain, and Infernal Tutor. It looks like his hand is double Cabal Writ.
Mono red's the way to go, huh?
He's got 2 fetches and now a Brainstorm and an Abrupt Decay and a Ponder.
I think he's got a pretty well set up hand. It doesn't look like he's going to combo here too soon.
No, there's
but
no need to, though.
No, he's got a lot of time.
It'll be interesting. Most Storm decks only play 2 green sources in their deck.
Yeah.
So 1 Bayou and 1 Trop. So if Lennon is able to Wasteland away this, it's really going to cut off Gordon's options.
I fully expect him to Wasteland here. How else are you going to interact with them? What, you gonna cast a 2-mana Goblin right now? Like, what is that gonna do?
Yeah,
I would much rather Wasteland here and then start playing bigger Goblins off the Chalice.
I think Lennon's really just kind of considering whether he is going to Wasteland or Port. I think it should probably be Wasteland.
I think you want to Wasteland.
Yep.
Yep, and that looks like that's the conclusion that he's come to, and he's just gonna pass the turn back. Usually Thalian Containment Priest.
Interesting.
Okay. What does Containment Priest do against Storm?
Nothing in this matchup. No.
Okay. Oh, that's just what the white's for. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You just play Thorns and Mindbreak Trap. Ooh. Yeah, you can just pack Mindbreaks.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. You've been trying Chain Whirler. Yeah, but the triple red's tough because you have the Ports and Wastelands. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyone watch Castle Rock? No.
Nope.
Maybe somebody in chat will humor you.
All right, so Gordon looking at Bayou. It looked like a Petal, and I couldn't quite see the third card, but just going to keep that Bayou and play it.
This is risky by
So,
Gordon. Like,
yeah.
just running the only other green source out. I mean, I guess he has Petals.
He has Petal on top, so
Okay.
that's probably why he did it.
Yeah, if worse comes
But-
to worse, he can just Petal it. Petal Abrupt Decay.
It definitely is a little bit risky, though.
This is definitely a slower game from Storm than I was expecting. Because it doesn't look...
Gordon's still
like
a
he's gonna
solid
go.
couple turns away
Yeah,
from going off.
exactly. At least two.
And he has to figure out a way to get that Abrupt Decay out of his hand before he Infernal Tutors,
Yeah, he does.
which currently he has Brainstorm for, but
He can Brainstorm. He could also just hit the
sure,
vial.
he could definitely hit
Yeah.
either the Vial, or he could find
The
a
fact
Lion's Eye Diamond or something like
The
that.
fact that Chalice didn't get played by Lennon right here, right now,
Yeah,
and that he's choosing to port, I would strongly consider Abrupt Decaying the vial just with the 2 mana right now, drawing your Petal, and then Brainstorming on the next turn.
that'd be interesting.
It'd be a fine line, but he's a better Storm player than I am, so I'm sure. So what do I know?
I think Gordon's just really afraid of Chalice coming down at all, and he's not sure how long the game's going to last, so he's fine kind of slow rolling it a little bit here.
Yeah, there's no pressure right now, right?
Yep.
Kind of a similar thing that we saw with Reanimator and Grixis last round, where as long as Lennon doesn't present a clock, then Gordon doesn't care how long it takes. He has all the time in the world.
So Goblin Pile Driver coming down on Lennon's side.
Not the best Goblin by itself, but
It can get
something gives me a feeling it's going to make some friends.
pretty feisty pretty quickly. Pile ticks up to 3. Oh, another Pile Driver. It's the draw for Lennon.
No, is he going to choose to port again, or does he want to get this Pile Driver down?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting spot. you're not really sure how effective your mana denial is against their board. And it's really tempting to get multiple pile drivers into play as quick as possible and just end the game.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, we get to see that Gordon's not probably not going off this next turn.
Yeah,
I'd put quite a bit on that. His brainstorm would need to be wonderful.
As Lennon, though, you got to be pretty scared. Anytime that
always.
Storm has a handful, he's got 5 cards in hand and 3 mana available.
Yeah.
Like,
although there is something that like playing. So I've played a lot of decks that are bad against Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just tend to favor mid-range strategies that don't tend to do well against heavy combo decks. And I will say this: a lot of the times, I'm just looking to put pressure on my opponent as fast as possible. That's all I'm going to do, and I just hope that my opponent just doesn't have what they need. It's kind of a sad game plan, but honestly,
Goblin Matron fetching up. What is
Goblin War Chief?
Is that War Chief?
I think it's the dual deck Goblin War Chief.
Okay.
Want to check it?
Let's find out.
Or does chat want to tell us? I swear there's like a new Goblins versus like Inventors or something that had a new art for Goblin War Chief.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's in Dominaria. It's in Dominaria.
Dominaria War Chief.
Dominaria.
Okay. Well, that will definitely make the clock go a lot quicker. It looks like Gordon is going to abrupt decay that War Chief just to keep the damage off. It does stop a fair amount of damage from coming through. Alright, so starting things off with the Brainstorm.
And like I said, this needs to be a really powerful Brainstorm, and from what I can tell, it doesn't look wonderful.
It's not horrible because these Cabal rituals are going to be online. So if I were Gordon, I'd put back the land, I'd use the pedal, and I can get a ton of mana. Well, he might not need the 3rd ritual, so he might just put the 3rd ritual back.
I think he needs to try to go off this next turn, and I actually think he can.
I think he can go off this turn.
You think he... Really?
Yeah. So, you play the...
You gotta play the
fetch
land.
Right?
Yeah.
You're putting back...
He's counting up his mana, so...
He might be 1 short.
He's gonna go land... Land crack, right?
Yep.
And then we're gonna cast Cabal Ritual for 5 mana.
Cabal
Ritual for another +3, right?
Yeah.
+3. So he's gonna have 8 mana plus Pedal.
Yeah.
Which
so you
is
have 9 mana.
Potentially 9 mana, and then his hand should be depleted. Yeah, I think
you get to go down to 7, which
Infernal
either gets you into Ad Naus, or you could go into Past in Flames. Storm counts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He might be like 1 off from a Past in Flames kill at the moment.
He needs 9. Well, it looks like he is going to try to go off now. Yeah, maybe he can. I kind of expect him to go the Ad Naus route. Can he go off with Past in Flames?
Yeah.
You think he has enough there?
I think he can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he can.
Yep, so there's 5 black. He's going to use 3 of that. Go up to 8 black mana.
Because you'll be at 7, 8 mana after casting Past in Flames. You'll go down to 4, and you've got double Writ plus Infernal Tutor. So then you can Infernal Tutor chain for the next kill. Should be enough.
So he's going to use 2 of that, and
he's looking at Ad Naus.
He's looking at Ad Naus. Honestly, he can probably go off with Ad Nauseam from here.
Ad Naus gets a little risky if you have to pass the turn, though. That's the only thing.
No, he needs to win this turn. He absolutely needs to win this turn. So he would go down to 1 black mana plus the volcanic, and his storm count would go up to 6, and he needs to get to 9. So he'd be kind of going for
He's
broke
definitely
on
favored.
Mana.
So
yep. Okay.
Ad Nauseam being cast. So let's see what happens.
3 spells, and he needs to He needs a lot of mana out of this, right? He needs
a lot more rituals.
needs at
LEDs
least...
and rituals are what you want to see.
Yep, of course, and petals.
Yep.
And then
and you need to either find your way into another Infernal Tutor, or you need to find your way into a Past in Flames, or you need to find your way into just natural tendrils.
Yeah, natural tendrils would be good. All right, so 16 life to work with. Let's keep track here. So down to 15, 14, 13.
Ooh, that's a big hit.
That's bad.
There's a ritual. Second ritual. Chain's not good. All right, so he has the tutor.
He's down to 4.
He needs to figure out how he's going to make this work. It looks like he's going to try to make goblins to block. He can make a decent amount of goblins here. Storm count's already 6. He can up that to 7, 8, 9,
2 dark reds,
10, 11. So you could see 22 goblins.
I mean, that should be enough, right? To actually, like, stay alive.
Maybe not, though. Like, if Lennon has either a Chain Whirler or...
that would be gross. That would be so gross. Oh, man. Can we see that?
Or a sharpshooter with something. But
okay, all right.
You know, this could not be ideal.
Okay, no, he's going...
So he's tutoring for another spell.
Brainstorm.
So, yeah.
He's going to look for another brainstorm.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Why? What? I'm actually curious to why brainstorm. I almost expect him just to do this and get a dark ritual and just push the storm count higher and
Cabal ritual or something like that.
Or yeah, Cabal ritual.
All right, Cabal ritual. Storm count up to 10. And we're going to empty for 11. So 22 goblins coming down. And Gordon passes the turn. So Lennon's gotta get something here.
So 22 goblins? Is that what the 2-2?
22 goblins. Lennon has a Skirk Prospector, though. It's a lot of... So, interesting. Looks like Lackey, Prospector, and I can't tell the other... Or, excuse me, not Prospector. Pile Driver.
Oh.
Lackey, Pile Driver, and I don't know what the other one is.
Wasteland doesn't do it.
Wasteland does not do it. What's
now,
that?
Now
Goblin?
Here's another question. Is it possible that Lennon gets up to 5 goblins in play this turn and actually like presents enough blockers that Gordon can't kill on a full swing?
Yeah, it's possible that he lives another turn doing that. He has 2 more goblins in hand, so...
Not that that's like a great plan or anything, but...
Okay, so...
Yeah, that's 5 goblins.
Yeah,
yep.
There's 5.
Guys, we're just watching goblins versus goblins. This isn't... I know it looks like Storm, but all I see is goblins.
It's actually all goblins all the time. So, yeah, there you have it.
So this does make things awkward for Gordon because...
Gordon can't even attack all out here.
No, he has to attack with some amount, and...
Okay, so Chain of Vapor.
Chain of Vapor. Yep, that's it. Okay, Exaxes.
There's still the Vial on 3.
There's only 1 card in hand.
There's still the Vial on 3.
Yeah, but there's 1 card in hand. If Gordon knows he can't win...
Vial for Sharpshooter, now that Matron's bounced, it'd be pretty crazy. So, another thing here is that Lennon can copy the chain, but that gives that really doesn't give him an advantage because Gordon would happily copy it back. Right.
That's true. Bouncing actually does nothing because Matron's a 3-drop.
Yeah. You either get Chain Whirler or you get Sharpshooter, right?
Right. Oh yeah, that's really not wonderful at all. Why did he target the Matron?
Yeah. He probably should have targeted the goblin token.
This matron.
So-
Oh, I want this matron to get Goblin Chain Whirler. Oh, he doesn't have 3 red though, huh? Oh no, he's got
got
Chalice.
Vial
Yeah,
on
or Vial.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gold.
If he has Chain Whirler, this game's over.
So he's gonna
So he's attacking with 16,
16.
leaving 6 back. So I think that's an easy block on all, and I'd Vial in here as well.
Of course.
So Matron gets Vialed in, and we get to see if Lennon's got a Chain Whirler
What
in
a
his
mess! Why did he bounce the matron? That's the only one that he shouldn't have bounced.
Yeah, it's a very, very
What?
tough one. He can't bounce the pile drivers; they're protection from blue.
Right, but bounce the
but-
token.
Yeah, bouncing the token
You know,
is probably the correct.
Because Lennon still hasn't paid for Echo, so like.
Yep.
That's right, guys. It looks like
Let's
Goblins is
see.
actually gonna get this.
I don't see a Chain Whirler.
But Matt.
I don't see a Chain Whirler.
But Matt, no, there has to be one.
I don't see it. I don't see a Chain Whirler.
What is going on?
Even a Lord here would be really good, right? Like,
You have to keep stuff in your deck against
you.
against goblins
Yeah.
for Storm. You have to at least keep a couple things.
Yeah.
Especially where you have Matron and like Ringleader that can like go and find them.
I'm not seeing one. Oh no. Oh no.
Guys, Goblins should have had
Oh,
this.
no.
Goblins should have had this. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Yeah, or Sharpshooter or something, but Sharpshooter's not quite good enough here, I don't think.
No.
Because it doesn't have haste on its own.
Yeah, there's no War Chief. The War Chief hit the bin a little earlier.
Looks like he's bringing up a siege gang to the front. Oh no.
That's not good
He-
enough.
he does
Is
have
it-
Sharpshooter in his
Is
deck.
it good enough?
I think I saw a Sharpshooter there.
Well, he lives through this turn.
So-
So is Sharpshooter good enough?
Sharpshooter
I
is
don't
only
think
good
so.
enough if he also draws into a another war chief.
You
And
have
then
to
he'd
draw
have-
War Chief.
He'd have to draw into war chief.
I mean, at least that's a line. It's not a good one, but there isn't there. So there's an out. There's still an out. Is he actually thinking to just grab Siege Gang and like maybe he draws a land and that's enough? That's enough to keep him alive.
Is that enough blockers? I don't think that's enough blockers for next turn.
I do not know this card.
What is that?
Chat, help.
Chat. What goblin is this?
Jorgensen, do your work. You think it's a Prospector?
Yeah,
It is.
Skirk Prospector. That's not good enough.
What does that do?
That doesn't do much of anything.
So we're gonna block with everything, right?
Yeah, you have to. You have to block all. So if you block all,
What? What's going on?
I don't know what's. He only.
Oh no,
blocked
he attacked
one?
with 16. 16, not 22. Okay, so he kept the matron and the token alive.
Okay.
Jorgensen, you always know. Don't even right now. Every time there's some card that we don't know, you're always like, oh yeah, that's just this. No biggie, guys. You guys are idiots. I know the way your mind works.
So Vial up to 4. What can he do? What can he do?
There's still 19 more goblins.
Yeah. I don't know. So Prospector gets you a lot of mana, but I don't see why mana is important. You've got a Lackey, and it looks like Gordon's going to take the game. Man. Wow. Gordon gets away with one there.
I'm not happy about this.
Gordon gets away with one there. Oh, man. What a game.
So, note to all Goblins players, you should have at least one Goblin Chain Whirler in your deck, just saying.
Yeah.
The card's, generally good anyway.
Wow.
That just happened.
That just happened. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say. Wow. So
you want me to go ask him Lost Mystery?
Oh man.
I gotta ask him. I have to know.
We gotta know. We gotta know. We just gotta know. Wow. What a game. What a game.
He doesn't.
He doesn't?
No.
There's
none in the 75.
There's none in the 75. None. None in the 75.
Zero Goblin Chain Whirlers. We're hanging out. Here we were, getting all hyped up. Man. We thought that Goblins was going to beat Storm. And it was going to be beautiful.
It was going to be glorious.
It was going to be great.
He needs a playset.
You know what? I'll just go buy him a playset right now and just be like, dude,
here you go.
Check these out. It's called Goblin Chain Whirler. It's got some other text on there that you may need to read.
Yeah, I feel like one has really earned its way in the 75.
You got it. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not only is it like a really good body, but like it's really good off Vial.
And it just gets out so much of the chaff that gets in the way of your goblins.
Yes.
Like, it just cleans up these board states like no one's business.
This is a format with all sorts of different things. You know, there are things like Lingering Souls. You might catch a Delver the turn it comes into play, or like a Nimble Mongoose.
You can catch Nimble Mongoose, Unflipped Delvers. You can catch Bitter Blossom tokens. You can
Humans and TT. There you go.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of really good things it can get, and
you can catch Goblin tokens.
You could have
got 22
goblins. You could have gotten 22 goblins. Come on.
And it's a 3/3 first striker. 3/3 first strike for 3.
Wait, so hold on. What you're telling me is that there could be a card in this deck that not only kills 22 goblin tokens at one time, but also attacks their face. 4 damage.
For 3.
Oh,
first strike.
And you can do all of this, and you can get this effect at instant speed if you have a Vial on 3.
Yeah, Trash Master is interesting, but I wouldn't fault someone for not running Trash Master in their Goblins list.
Agreed.
And I feel like you just need one Chain Whirler.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Storm wins after that Chain of Vapor.
It was definitely a bad Chain of Vapor.
That was a pretty bad Chain of Vapor.
That Chain of Vapor, if Goblin Whirler was there, that Chain of Vapor would have won Lynn in the game. Like, literally.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know how you just don't hit the token.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, a couple misplays on both sides there. One with misbuild and one with a misplay.
You don't balance the one that does something for them when it with an ETB effect. Come on.
Ike? Yeah.
He wanted a challenge. He was like, I dare you. Go get it. Go get it. Show me.
Yeah, Tuk-Tuk's fine.
Interesting.
Trashman's fine too. 4 is kind of an odd spot for goblins, I feel. Like, on the plus side, it's a Lord, so that helps.
Now I'm all stressed out.
Yeah, and that was only round 1, guys. We've still got 3 more rounds. Yeesh. I don't know if I can handle this. The roller coaster.
I can't. His round. Oh, okay, they're just playing for fun. You want to just throw on their for fun game?
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Why not?
Looks like we're gonna have some death and taxes versus these aren't the actual people
This is
playing.
just some in between magic.
Yeah, in between round magic. While we're waiting, they're just gonna. I think Matt's actually on the left playing Reanimator, and this is Jeff on the right. Oh no, we're gonna get rounds. We're gonna get rounds up.
Oh, looks like
they're about to start, and we're gonna be like, yeah, Legacy pairings. Okay.
Get off the table.
Oh, maybe this actually is the pairings.
Might be.
Is it Matt versus Jeff? It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going.
Let's relabel this then.
All right.
Okay. So they're ahead of us. Finally, we're getting our update that round 2 is up. We've got Matt versus Jeff. So this is our Reanimator player, and usually Jeff is on Death and Taxes. And then we've got on table 2 we've got Gordon versus Yoon, or June, or however you say it. I really don't know. But yeah, so we'll have Storm on the other table and Reanimator on this table again. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't feel like our tournaments usually do that kind of thing.
No, usually not.
Usually Storm and Reanimator are some of our smaller represented decks. So
shout out to Combo for showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our store has been really light on Combo in the last little bit. Well, you want Jeff's playmat? That's like the only playmat I have ever seen him use. So I would assume that he likes it quite a lot too. All right, well let's check it out. So we've got Reanimator versus Death and Taxes here. Once again, Matt is finding himself playing a deck that actually interacts with him very well. I would expect most of the interaction to come from the sideboard, but still. Yeah. And sure enough, Jeff does have the turn 1 Vial. This Aether Vial card, guys. Round 2, we've already seen 2 Aether Vial decks.
Do we know what June's on?
I do not. I don't know what he's on. We'll have to
cool.
Check it out. I don't know why I'm thinking Miracles, but it's probably not. Let's just hope it's not. No, he's on Dredge. He's on Dredge.
Okay, sweet.
That is not Miracles. Yep, it's LED Dredge. Okay. Wow, these fast decks.
Combo decks, man.
Hey, we still went to time in that last one, so. All right, so Thalia's come down, and not a lot going on for Matt. Even though he was able to get a Sire of Insanity into his graveyard, Thalia's come down. There's not a lot of lands.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Jeff's really just a wasteland away from making this really hard for Matt.
If Jeff wins game 1, this match is heavily favored.
In general, I think this is a really tough matchup for Reanimator.
It is.
Here we're gonna see
there's Thalias. Yep. There's Rest in Pieces in the sideboard. There's like Containment Priests. There's
and a lot of these decks have started playing Remorseful Cleric as well. So
interesting.
Something that can be vialed in and fetched up and able to deal with the graveyard.
Not only that, but there's even like silly things like, hey, I'm gonna Phyrexian Revoker your Gristlebrand, and next thing you know, your Swords to Plowshares are like really good.
And Caracas,
Caracas is super. Yeah, 3 Caracas main deck. Now Matt does have a Sire of Insanity in his graveyard, which
that helps. Yeah,
it does help, but at the same time, it's a 4 toughness creature, and look at what Jeff has already been able to commit to the board.
Mm-hmm.
It would pretty much have to come in this next turn to actually be effective.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Matt didn't just unmask last turn, paying the 1. Looks like he's doing it this turn.
All right, so here's an unmask. So he's got to pay for that. We've got a response, and Jeff's going to throw in that Phyrexian Revoker, and then Jitte's going to hit the bin. This is not a concern to Jeff.
Jeff is empty-handed, so
yeah. I think most of what needs to be
I'd imagine
on board
that
is already on board.
Revoker either named Lotus Petal or Gristlebrand.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to name Petal
I
here.
think you want to name Petal.
Yeah, I'd be really tempted to name Petal. If you
well,
did,
we're gonna find
we'll
out.
find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out right now because the Petal just came off the top of the deck. Yep, there's the Petal. He's just gonna play it.
So it might be Gristlebrand then.
Okay, in comes Flicker Wisp.
Ooh.
This is going to flicker the Recruiter.
Oh, bad day.
Yeah.
Bad day if you're a Reanimator fan. Pretty good day if you're a Death and Taxes fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the blue-black Reanimator deck. I just don't think it's good right now, unfortunately. It's just definitely the cooler deck.
Sanctum Prelate.
The red-black is just so efficient, though. I think that's the reason it's good.
I think the red-black deck is more powerful, inherently powerful. I believe that the blue-black deck has more play against the field, so your bad matchups aren't as bad.
Not quite.
And this is a bad matchup.
Yes.
So
Yes, this is not what he wanted to see, especially with Jeff being winning the die roll. Yeah, I mean, blue-black does get show and tell. That's very true. That does give them quite an edge over the people who are overboarding Graveyard Hate. Or just overboarding interaction, I should say.
Sure.
All right, so in come the beats. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. And Matt does not have a lot to work with.
Last round, we saw Matt with kind of a bit of an overboard, but I would expect to see all those cards coming in this matchup because you need them. You need your Wear Tears, you need your Braids, you need whatever forms of interaction that you can have in this matchup. So Jeff's going to take that game, and I would expect to see a lot of boarding. So in the meantime, let's see what's going on over here. So we've got a lot of dredgers, we've got an Icarid going on, and
okay, so let's pick out the key pieces, right?
ooh.
Whoa. Can you guys hear that? There's like a huge storm outside.
There's thunder.
Like
Like
I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was loud.
Building shaking thunder.
Yeah. So sorry if our power goes out. Like
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, but like hearing thunder like that definitely.
If it does, we'll be in a pitch black room.
Yes, we will be in a pitch black room, and if the stream does go down, of course we'll jump over. Bara, thank you so much for sending people our way.
Thank you, Bara.
Ah, what a hero. We even have a little bit of Death and Taxes on our main
yeah.
feature match just for Bara.
Just for Bara.
Just for Bara. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like watching Death and Taxes though. Maybe he only likes to play it.
Hard to say.
Maybe he'll let us know. Well, welcome in everybody.
June's asking if those are real or not.
Yeah, these real?
They are.
Yes,
Those are
yes,
real.
they're
Yeah.
real.
Yep.
Yeah, these are just my storm counters. No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how appropriate. We're watching Storm and there's a big storm outside. Yeah.
Storm with the storm. Yeah.
Yeah. I got an actual text message that said that. They're like, hey, Kyra, here's how to be clever. Are those real? Yes.
They are.
They are real.
They are real. All right, so Dark Petition in response, crack LED. So 3 storm, 3 red mana floating. There's going to be 3 black as well. I'd assume that we're going to see a Past in Flames. And this should be game, but we'll keep it here for a minute.
No, I am not messing with you. Like I'm dead serious. I know I'm known for being ridiculously sarcastic, and I'm also known for keeping a really straight face when I'm sarcastic. I know that I'm known for that. But yes, they are very real. They are very real.
Yep,
He plays vintage, yep. And he definitely likes to use these for his storm counters.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just what he likes to do. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Trust me, everybody in the store feels the same way. We all just go, really? Why? Like, I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool. But at the same time, it's like,
All right, so Past in Flames resolves, and you should have plenty of mana here to be able to make this work. So here comes Cabal Rit, and
there are more cards to use for this.
another petition.
Are there? Because Gordon seems to think that those are the only ones, so don't try to tell him that. I don't think it'll work.
There was a time when he was using Time Twister in there as well. For like he was using Time Twister, Wheel.
Yeah, he bought his.
Yeah,
I think it was when we were in Seattle. He approaches me during Seattle and he goes, "Kyer, I bought the rest of my power."
Nice.
And you wanna know what my response was? I'm not a very supportive person. Okay, just for your information, my response was, "Why?" You know, like I could have been all all excited for him, and I'm just like,
why?
But why'd you do that?
But why?
I'm interested in hearing a good reason. But all right, let's it looks like our other okay, no, Jeff's shuffling. All right, we'll stay here for another minute.
Yeah, so Storm count 7, upping to 8 off of Preordain. There's a 2 to the bottom. Looks like he drew Ad Nauseam, which isn't going to help at this point, but Storm count's plenty.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be able to go off here, and I'm sure that by the time this is all said and done, we'll be able to jump over to our other match.
Exactly 4 mana and Storm count of 10 and Tendrils in the yard, so this should be for 20. It looks like he drew a low spell, so 21. Or
for
22 damage.
For kicks and giggles, you never know.
22 damage.
I'm gonna sack this for mana. What now? You want to borrow power for your monk tokens? I think power would make some pretty good monk tokens, Venomous.
That's pretty
for
good.
sure. I recommend that.
All right.
All right. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Let's jump back
There's
over.
the game.
The game's just about to start, so
just in time.
Here we're jumping back in. We had Jeff win game 1, playing Death and Taxes against Reanimator. Yeah. Depending on how many monk tokens you get regularly, you may need multiple sets of power. Hope that's okay with you.
So if you're mad, if you've got a quick turn 1 here, you could be doing some good damage here. So he's gonna therapy himself.
Yep, therapy himself.
Put Gristlebrand to the bin.
Yep. And it looks like we got another pedal with a reanimate.
Pedal reanimate.
This is absolutely great.
Pedal Dark Rit.
Yep.
Dark Rit animate dead, and that's going to save him some life so he can draw some more cards.
Excellent. Okay, so now it's in play. So we didn't see any Faramir Cops.
Yep.
We didn't see any
Jeff has
surgical
Rest in
extractions.
Peace in his hand.
Rest in Peace is too late.
Yep.
And that is something to mention.
Looks
is that
like he molt down to it as well.
Jeez, the storm, guys.
Oh man.
All right. So Rest in Peace is really good in this matchup, but on the draw, it really does lose a lot of value. So here we get to see the hand. This is going to be Rest in Peace, Mother of Runes, Plains, Wasteland, and Flicker Wisp.
I'm not even sure I'd take it at this point.
Why?
I think
Why
I'd
would
take
you?
like either a Mother or Flicker Wisp, and probably Flicker Wisp.
I mean,
but
no, yeah.
Yep.
Take the thing that he can cast. I don't even think any of it's relevant at this point. I still think that if I was in this situation, I'd just take the Rest in Peace and just be like, meh, you know, like, all right, like, it's fine. I guess if somehow you manage to weasel your way out of this one, you know, then at least I'm not getting my graveyard blown up on turn 2. So we've got a Faithless Looting and
a Therapy.
Yep, Therapy. So this is going to take care of Rest in Peace, and now Jeff's hand. What is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Bad.
Yeah.
No.
Jeff really needs to find a swords really quick here.
Swords would not win this game. It would need to be like swords. It would need to be like swords into Rest in Peace.
Yeah, it would be a start.
Yeah. And even that, I would not be convinced that would get him.
Yeah.
How did he cast Therapy? So he used 2 petals for his first.
He had a Dark Ritual.
Yeah, he had a Dark Ritual. So he had 2 petals of Dark Ritual, and then he didn't have a land. He hadn't played a land yet, so he had like 2 petals, land, and Dark Rit. Yeah.
Floating mana. Well, he had the sword, so that's a start.
That happened. Yep, so it looks like we're gonna get 7 more cards. And you know, this is exactly what I mean, is like this turn another big creature is gonna come in. It's gonna happen, right? Like it has to.
Maybe.
He even has wear tear for if
he's gotta have a way to put things in the bin, and I'm not seeing one right now.
Interesting. Here's a pithing needle. That's not exciting.
Probably name Wasteland.
Just name Wasteland. I guess.
Trying to think of what else he would name in this matchup. Aether Vial, but that's not important right now. Port's not important right now. He could name Caracas just as a hedge for
that would
later.
be fine. In fact, that's probably better.
Correct.
He's got plenty of lands in hand off of all these draws. I wouldn't be too concerned about the Wasteland. And there's no Vial. You know, like if he really chooses to play Wasteland and like crack it on one land, like who's really winning here, right?
Sure. All right, so move to discard. He just doesn't have a creature yet. I mean, he does have a Faithless Looting in the graveyard, so he is able to dig a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
I think that is actually the play. He does. Oh, he has a Reanimate. Is there really no creature in the graveyard?
There's no creature in the graveyard.
Wow. Okay. Well, yep. Let's fetch and let's flashback Faithless Looting.
Yep.
Not exactly. Wow. That was just not good 7. That's just not a good 7 at all.
Yeah. Yeah. He does have 2 reanimation spells. He has Reanimate and Exhume.
There's
and
another
he drew
Exhume.
Entomb back.
That would be real silly.
Exhume
All right,
back both Iona and Mother runes to protect.
So this is double Dark Writ, and then he's gonna Entomb. And what have we got here? What do you think the card he's gonna get? It's got to be Iona, right? Gristlebrand's fine too. There's Iona.
There's Iona.
Yeah, let's just do that.
That's what I would do. You could make an argument for like a Tidespout Tyrant or something like that you could protect via bounces and isn't legendary.
He wouldn't have cast both Dark Writs before he gets a Tidespout Tyrant.
Correct.
Though.
You wouldn't do it there.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had the plan.
Like this gets a little bit awkward with the creatures in graveyard, but not too bad.
Yep. So it looks like Iona's gonna get blinked here. It's gonna come back. It's just gonna name white, and you know this clock is pretty clear. Who's ahead here? Jeff only has the ability to cast what? Your equipment, and no, he did not draw. Okay, yeah, can't cast that. Can't cast that.
Yeah.
That's a white spell still.
Caracas would be the card, as long as Pithing Needle is not naming Caracas, which we don't know for sure. Abraid's going to be the play there, and that makes the clock very clearly in Matt's favor. This game's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't have Aether Vial this game. It makes it different. Interesting. So not raining where Nate is, but a bunch of dark clouds. Okay, so Very Macabre just came off the top of Jeff's deck. Now, obviously, this is too late.
Yeah, way too late. And Jeff should probably hide that information if possible for Game 3. So if Matt casts another discard spell or anything like that, you should probably just scoop and go to the next one.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's gonna be the game.
Sorry. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get a Game 3 out of this. You know, this is exactly why I feel like Twitch went down for a sec.
Oh,
sorry about that, guys.
Hopefully it's back.
Yeah, I just checked and it looked like it was.
Good.
You know, this just shows that even if your opponent has like the ultimate hate card, you can get in under. You can.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And this Black-Red Reanimator deck has the ability to put a Gristlebrand in on turn 1. That's probably one of the most powerful things you can be doing in Magic. If not the actual most powerful thing you can do.
And it can do it with fighting through a lot of hate as well. Like,
I pull this one up bigger. I can't. I gotta be able to see the graveyard here.
All right. So we've got Putrid Imp and an Archamoeba in play. and
I see an Icarid in the graveyard. And
there's a Golgari Grave Troll. Looks like 2 dredgers. I don't see any bridges.
I don't. This seems like a pretty unexciting graveyard at the moment. It looks like he's got Faithless Looting, some dredgers, some lands, a pedal.
Yeah.
And he has an Icarid, 1 Icarid.
Yeah.
Okay, so
not seeing any ball therapies either.
Gordon's not feeling a whole lot of pressure at the moment.
Yeah, just 3 damage on board currently. Oh, there is a bridge.
There is one?
That looks like a bridge to me.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't tell what that card is. It might be.
Doesn't look like any sack effects currently, though. And this really is just a race between the 2 decks to see who can get there first. Storm's usually a little bit faster.
I'll be right back, all right?
Storm also has a little bit more ability to interact with being able to cast cards like Surgical Extraction and the like. Here we're going to see some Icarids come back. 2 Icarids come back. And dredging a Golgari Grave Troll. He hits a couple of bridges here, and that's a pretty good dredge.
I mean, he needed it.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of damage. And even just having these Icarids die at end of turn will create a lot of tokens to pressure.
Right, but Gordon could still go off this next turn, right?
Yeah, he certainly could.
Yeah, his hand's stacked. He
pretty much has to. This next turn is kind of do or die.
Yeah, so he's got a cantrip. He's got another pedal. He's got what he needs.
He has to do it probably without a very big ad nauseum, so he's going to have to rely a lot more on Past in Flames. Here we see Flusterstorm countering the Cabal therapy. June will still get the tokens, though. Alright, so last turn for Gordon here to make something happen. Starts things off with Preordain. Puts 2 to the bottom, draws a land. He's got Ad Nauseam in hand, but Fetch Land means he's going to be at 7 if he starts down that road. And he also has Infernal Tutor, so with no way to get rid of cards in hand. So kind of an awkward hand for Gordon at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. He got game 1, right? Like we still have one.
Sure.
We still have one more game. We still have one more game to go. I don't think he's like too upset about this, but what? Why are we talking about white border cards? I think the 4 and black borders are like way prettier than the white borders. That's just my opinion.
They're pretty good. All right, I think our other match just started back up. We can probably switch back over there. I think that
let's
Dredge is gonna take this game. We'll keep you guys updated.
It doesn't look like he's got a whole lot left.
All right, so over here we've got Thalia, and that's going to get Collective Brutality.
Okay, so he's got to pay the extra for Thalia, but he's at least able to get it off the board, and then this should free up his next turn. Like, is he just killing it, or did he escalate? He did escalate.
He escalated.
Okay,
just once.
So we see 2 Flicker Wisp, a Batter Skull, a Stone Forge. Is that a Fairy Macabre? It's got
Yeah,
Fairy, Fairy Macabre
Macabre.
and a Jitte.
Yep.
So why keep the Jitte? I feel like that's got to be like one of the first cards you
Yeah,
want to board out. But Matt knowing about the Fairy Macabre, this
Fairy Macabre's a big one to know about for sure.
So guess what? Wear Tear doesn't beat the little fairy, guys. It's the fairy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So Matt probably going to have to play things a little bit slower here. He does have multiple reanimation spells in hand and just drew into a Faithless Looting. So best draws for Matt are going to be cards like Cabal Therapy or Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
He draws Entomb and a land. Not exactly what you're looking for. He's kind of in a tricky spot. He discards Wear Tear.
Austin texts me and he goes, yeah, he only has one Collective Brutality in the sideboard. Clutch.
Clutch.
This game's still going? No, he's casting Ad
Nauseam.
So do you think it's just a desperation Ad Nauseam?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's down to 3. He did hit an LED off of it though, so he might be able to get there. Down to 2.
I mean, that'd be impressive. Like, there's like, what, 20 power on the other side of the board? Like, I'm sorry, 18, 19. I was close.
He got there. He's got some work to do still. I think he did. Yeah, Gordon got there. So Gordon takes that match in 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good matchup.
Yeah.
It's a really good matchup.
He had to cast kind of a rough Ad Nauseam and got there.
I think there's something to say about Dredge, and even though it's a really powerful deck, there are some weaknesses. First weakness, it dies to Graveyard Hate. Okay, like that's easily one of the things that needs to be recognized at first. But the other thing is, sometimes you dredge and you don't hit the right things.
Yep.
Like you don't know what's going to come off that first dredge 6, and you know maybe you have the hand that's going to like Faithless Looting, or it's going to break through, and you just had it all. You know, but there are also times where you just depend on that first dredge and it just doesn't get you there, and you're too slow.
Yeah, it happens. All right, so Matt can actually make an interesting play here. I'm not sure what exactly Phyrexian Revoker is naming. I'm assuming Gristlebrand, not Petal, because he only had one Petal before and he would have kept it to discard. But
I would be surprised. Seeing how much mana's out there, I would be surprised if it was naming Petal.
So now that Matt has a Gristlebrand in the graveyard, what he could do is he could cast an Exhume. And when Jeff goes to exile creatures with his Fairy Macabre, he could entomb in response, grab another creature, and get around the Fairy Macabre. So that is an option that
would be a really cool
Matt
play.
Might be able to do.
You know, I do know that Matt doesn't play a lot of Legacy. I know that he's been testing quite a bit with this deck, but that would be quite the line to see.
And here he drew an Unmask, which is a pretty good draw. So
yeah, it's great. I mean,
he might be able to go for it even.
Yeah, let's
just without.
Well, that's what you have to do, right? It's like, okay, well, like
yeah. Show
me what this fairy can do. Yep. That's exactly what's happening. He goes, I'm going to unmask you, and he goes, all right, I'll use the fairy.
Yep.
All right, little fairy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do for me?
Forcing the issue.
Yeah, so it's going to get rid of the card in the graveyard. Unmask is probably going to get rid of one of these. I don't know. I guess you get rid of the Batterskull.
Yes, probably.
You're at 12 life.
Batterskull is a good one.
It's the. Yep. Here's an Entomb. Yeah. He's like finish resolving.
Take your card.
So wait, you're just gonna cast the card and do nothing with it? Here's Matt going. It made you use the fairy.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, and so that's gonna be able to hit that swords to plowshares is probably the get.
Yeah, probably. Batterskull's gonna be good though.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be the take. So now we've got the Entomb, and then we've got an Exhume. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's either Exhume or Animate Dead.
Then we get to see our favorite thing, and our favorite thing is definitely Fairy Macabre in play.
Well,
how often do you see Death and Taxes?
Not necessarily. I think if I were Jeff, I'd
It'd
get
probably
the
be
Mother of Runes.
Mom. Yeah, probably. Nope. This is Elishnorn. Nope, I don't think it's gonna be that. Well, it doesn't really matter what he selects; they all die.
I mean, Elishnorn would be really good.
It's about to be great. Yep. There's the Exhume. So 2 creatures are going to come back. The Reanimator player is going to bring back Elishnorn, and Jeff is going to select Fairy Macabre.
And all of Jeff's creatures will die due to state-based actions, state-based effects.
Yep. So he's going to get Batterskull into play in response, of course.
Yep. It'll be a 2/2 skull.
He definitely should have done that earlier, but I'm sure Matt's just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. We all know what you meant to do.
Yep.
So now Jeff's in a scenario where he's got this 2/2 germ, right? And he's facing down a 4/7.
Now, sword can do some work here.
Sword can, but there's no hand. Matt doesn't have a hand, so he's taking 0 extra damage off the sword, and Jeff, no.
It does make a pro-white life-linking vigilance creature. All right, so that's going to go away, and so should that Flicker Wisp. That Flicker Wisp should be dead.
Yeah. Yep, but this does allow for a swing for 4 with the Batterskull.
And next turn?
Yeah, he gets to do it again next turn. And this isn't going to be lethal by any means, but this is scary enough because there is a sword that can give the germ +2/+2 and protection from white.
Now, Jeff also has to be a little bit wary about his order. If he draws a land and goes to sword equip, that will that'll be a little bit more damage this next turn.
Okay.
So, which may or may not be relevant, but it might.
Yeah, it might. And we're gonna find out. So I definitely just expect to see this Flicker Wisp just jam again if there's no land, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It'll
and like the best thing in the world that Jeff could draw would be Caracas, right?
Easily.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's Flicker Wisp. This
same thing. Yep.
Yeah, same thing.
In for 4.
Exact repeat of a turn, and now Matt takes 1 more hit from this germ, and he's dead.
It's in a tough spot.
I mean, granted, Jeff does have to rip a land off the top of the deck to get the sword equip in 1 turn.
Yep. Might have 1 more turn. We'll see.
And Matt needs. There's no more creatures in the graveyard. He's just all in on this Elish.
I think he did gain 4 from the germ, Jorgensen.
I don't think the life total is too relevant. Okay, there we go. So Cabal Therapy.
That does a lot.
No, he did not.
No. He
named Jit?
What? Really?
Matt! Sorry, not this Matt. the Matt out there. What are you doing?
Oh, no.
Land.
Oh, no.
No? Okay, no land.
Well, here comes the sword.
Yep, here's the sword.
All right, he needs a wear tear or something. He needs something.
What just happened? He had it, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of variables still, but like
any other creatures in Matt's graveyard, I don't think there are. It's gonna be exactly lethal.
Man, now after this match, I have to go outside and berate Matt about it because then if I don't, Terry's gonna be all mad at me. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, we need to berate our players about this. This is important. we want them to learn and blah 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 blah."
So Matt reading sword.
Yeah, he's feeling real dumb.
Yep.
No, I'm sure he's just like, oh yeah, pro white, we messed up. He may
So,
have thought it was a different sword.
Here's the
Do you
other
think-
thing
do you
as
think
well.
He did?
Matt could have easily, he had a reanimate in hand. He could have cast it on his opponent's Fairy Macabre, had a 4/4 black blocker,
Yep, he should have.
and been able to get rid of that.
Did he have that?
He had reanimate in hand. He would have dropped down to 1 life.
Excuse me,
So-
ladies and gentlemen. I need to
So,
talk to somebody real quick.
Kind of interesting there. We see Jeff takes the match there, but man, I feel like Matt should have had that one. What crazy matches we've seen tonight. Fairy cost 3. Fairy Macabre cost 3. 1 colorless, 2 black. Yeah, it would have been dropped to 1. And Kyra's going over and talking to both players right now and telling them what they could have done. Interesting game. Yeah, so he could have lived. Yeah, it's really tough. And like, these are lines that are very hard to see. And it's very unusual that you do that sort of a line to make the game work. So can't really blame him for missing it.
Yeah, can finish that. Here, I'll come in a bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Terry wants to relieve me from my streaming duties.
Oh, okay.
He dropped.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. So I think he'll be in a sec. Okay, so first off, I learned a couple things. He did think it was a different sword.
Yep.
I can't remember what one he said.
Okay.
I think he said Fire and Ice. He thought it was Fire and Ice, and it wasn't a threat to him.
Okay.
So that makes sense. I mean, they do look somewhat similar, right?
Sure.
I mean, they're a sword
The art's
with
very
with
similar.
colors
Yeah.
flying off the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is Jeff said that his draw that turn was a Path to Exile. So
Okay.
it was probably going to end the same way no matter what. Even if a reanimate had come and hit a Fairy Macabre and, like, you know, it would have been a 4/3 for a second until Path to Exile takes out the Ella Schnorr, and then it's little, and then the game ends.
Sure.
So it's fine, but I had to tease him.
Oh.
I had to tease him. So
Man, rough.
yeah, he could have. I don't know. It was close. I think that there were a couple mistakes that were made, but anyway.
Well, 2 rounds down.
Two rounds down,
Pretty
2 to
crazy
go.
matches.
We hit our half.
All combos so far. Really,
yeah.
like
Weird. Really weird.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Normally our shop is very light on combo, but
Yeah.
today, it's like 3 combo decks that we've seen on camera.
Yeah, it's weird. I kind of like it though. Like,
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like most times I'm kind of dreading commentating on the combo matchups just because you really do have to pay more attention to the hand. But at the same time, since we don't see it often, it's been kind of refreshing.
Refreshing for
Yeah.
sure. All right, looks like
They both have swords. They both have swords in the art.
they do both have swords in the art, and they both have red on them. So,
That's true.
you know, easy mistake.
Sword of War and Peace, guys. You know, the most popular of them.
Oh, yes.
The most popular of the swords.
Legacy
How
staple.
How could you not know it was War and Peace?
Legacy staple, Sword of War and Peace.
Duh. It wasn't. Of course, it's not Feast and Famine or Fire and Ice. I don't know what you guys are thinking. This is
Wait, there are other swords?
chat. I don't know. I just hear rumors and I repeat them. Don't quote me on it.
What's this Feast and Famine?
Yeah, it might as well be Body and Mind.
Body
there you
and
go.
Mind.
Wait, Body and Mind.
Is that a card? What's that do?
Is this like the plateau of the duels that we went over on Tuesday?
Sword of the Meek. Yeah.
No, that sword's actually good. S tier sword.
Cost less mana.
Yeah. When it goes to the graveyard, it just comes right back.
Yep.
Good times. What do you think is going to be next? Do you think we're going to see both play? Okay,
Well,
so
we'll have Storm, right?
yes.
We'll have
So Storm's
Sword, not
2-0.
Storm.
So we'll definitely get to see a little bit more power.
Yep. A little bit more power.
Pulled out to count
Yeah.
some mana.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know,
We haven't seen any real control decks today, except for Terry, who is more on like a tempo deck.
That's Grixis. Yeah, that's Grixis Delver. I would never call that control. Yeah, no miracles. We haven't seen any miracles.
No miracles.
I'm sure
there is in the room.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
we always have miracles here.
Yep. Haven't seen any Grixis control. I know Calvin's on it.
Yeah, Calvin's on it.
Haven't seen really much in the way of like.
But we saw goblins.
We did see goblins. Chain whirlerless goblins.
Chain whirlerless goblins. Yeah, it's just not every day. It's just not every day when your opponent just reaches out their hands to you and says,
"Here, have the win.
I got you this win. Would you like it?" And the opponent's just like,
Nah.
I'm all right. I don't want your hands. I don't want your handouts. I don't need that garbage.
Grixis true name Snooze Fest.
Oh yeah, Jorgensen. That's exactly what I was gonna say. You took the words right out of my mouth.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue quite the same. But sure, why not?
Is this how we name our decks? Grixis TNN Snooze Fest.
I thought we were supposed to name them after breakfast cereals.
I call tricks.
Cheerios.
Cheerios. Oh yeah, we have Cheerios and I guess that's the only one, huh? Do we have other cereals? There was one that has to do with breakfast, but it's not a cereal.
Yeah.
It's a cephalid kind of breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might be cereal for cephalids.
Can you stifle the true name nemesis enter the battlefield trigger? No. It works like a clone effect where you name a player as you play it.
Yeah, you cannot.
Tricks and cheer. Wait, Tricks is a deck?
Yeah, Tricks is a deck.
I actually didn't know that. What one's that one?
It's like stacks.
Oh, it's stacks. Oh, I did know that. Just kidding. I'll play Tricks. That's fine. That's up my alley.
Necro donate illusions.
That does not sound like a cereal. Yeah, we got Cheerios. God, do you remember when we had a donation that asked us to play Cheerios on our MTGO stream?
Yeah, I do.
I want to say I won 2 rounds with it.
That's impressive.
It was impressive. Trust me, that deck was garbage.
Fruity
Captain
Pebbles,
Crunch, Fruity Pebbles.
We've got decks called Parfait.
All right, guys.
All right.
You can change the name to Terry. He's going to come hang out.
Terry, stepping into the booth.
This is my reward.
This is your for getting whooped by Reanimator round 1.
I didn't get whooped.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I force willed too many times. That's the thing.
All right, bye, chat.
Bye, Kyre.
Are you going away forever?
No, not forever.
Okay, I was gonna say do I have to Uber home?
No.
Okay.
I'll be back at the end.
Okay.
I'll be back at the end of the tournament because I wanted to go out and eat anyway.
Okay, sounds good. Because I was like, yeah, we got. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, don't worry. Don't say bye to Kyrie. No one even cares. You guys, this is like this is the best part of the movie.
So we've seen a ton of combo today.
Yeah.
We've seen Gordon on Storm. We've seen Matt on Reanimator. We've seen June on Dredge. And yeah, not much in the way of control. Not much in the way of.
Yeah, it's because me and Calvin are too busy just in the corner just punching each other.
Oh, is that what you've been up to?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Oh man. Kyrie's gone already.
Oh yeah, no, you won't miss him.
We'll relay the message. Maybe.
Who's been missing me too? Someone we know.
I don't know.
We saw a weird goblins.
Saw a weird goblins match.
Oh, I actually saw it from a person point of view. Which match did you guys watch?
We watched mainly your match and then went over to that. But we watched the fact that there was no Goblin Chain Whirler in the 75 cost the Goblins player the match.
I don't know why you would watch it.
James is Venomous 72.
Oh, who's James?
Hi, James.
Sorry, James. I know a lot of Jameses. The
There
most
we go.
famous James I know is my old cat from California like 20 years ago. He was a good cat. I appreciate it. There's like 8 miracles, guys. Too many miracles, guys.
Well, it looks like we've got.
Oh, I know who you
people-
are. Okay, cool. Okay, I know who you are now. Now I know.
Looks like we've got matches going on, so I guess they just didn't update us.
Don't say that. Don't ever call yourself a bad miracles player. You can never call yourself a bad player.
Let's see.
Let other people call you a bad player.
Jeff versus.
Jeff versus Reanimator.
Is it? No, it's Delver.
If it makes sense, if it makes you feel better, I almost never plus Jace, and people like are disgusted by me. I brainstorm. I kill people with brainstorm. You know that? You know, there's a mode on Jace that says you can brainstorm every turn. Because I brainstorm every turn, and you know what? And people will be like, "Why aren't you just +2?" And I was like, "Well, I got like 7 cards, and you got 2. I'm just gonna brainstorm you to death." That's just me. I'm not aggressive with it. I just felt like, I don't know. I think sometimes out of a tangent, and while you figure out what we're doing,
yeah.
The reason why I brainstorm pretty aggressively with Jace and progressively is generally when you +2, right? Like there's a few interactions you have to look out for. One, if they have a fetch, obviously they're just gonna fetch if you keep it on top. So like it really doesn't do anything. Yeah, you gain loyalty on Jace, but you know, what if you put the card on the bottom and then they just draw another one, right? Like generally when I +2 is you're trying to avoid combo piece C or B from like entering in the equation. But you know, that's the reason why I'm always trying to dig for a surgical extraction, another blue card to force, a force of will.
Yeah.
So I always feel like that like counteracting is a little bit better than trying to be, you know, aggressive with it. It's kind of like Thoughtseize versus Counterspell, where like you can Thoughtseize them all you want, but if they top deck it, then there's no way to, you know what I mean? And that's why like generally like even if you +2 them, you see a good card, you put them on the bottom, and they draw the same way or another one. Like I'd rather just have the answer brainstorming and then like let my board position press them into victory. So
I don't know who these players are, but we've got one on Bug Delver and one on
better
lands.
than me.
So
Oh, that's Toma. Toma's on lands. His name's Toma. T-O-M-A.
T-O-M-A.
Like tomato, but Toma. So lands versus Storm. It's really boring. So basically, Storm's gonna win round game 1, and then Land's just gonna board in some combination of Chalice of the Void, Sphere of the Resistance, and try to probably bring in their Ancient Shroom to try to combo off early. That's about it.
Sometimes I've seen them run like 8 Thorn effects, so Thorns and Spheres, and go that way with it. So I think we should probably be on the other match.
Yeah, I think so too. This is gonna be too boring. Like I already just told you how the match is gonna go. And
We've
then,
got Bug Delver. Unsure who that is, but we'll get it.
is he running Delvers? Well, he's running basic islands.
He's running Delver.
This is not Bug Delver. This is like Weenie Delver. Delver decks don't run basics. What? Oh.
All right, so
Bug Delver versus D&T. So what's the suite that we're going to get is Bug Delver is going to have access to Abrupt Decay. So if this is Bug Delver, what's the difference between... Okay, the problem with Bug Delver right now, I'm going to tell you, because I actually like Bug Delver decks. I just think they're too confused right now. So you have Team America, you have Dark Thresh, and then you have like kind of like the medium version of like mid-range Bug. So this deck, we're gonna find out together what this deck is. Seeing the island makes me think this is some weird mid-range concoction that runs Delver per se.
yeah, he's got Dazes. He's got
because there was a list in Prague that top 8 that ran Daze, but it was Delverless. Was basically Delverless Bug Delver.
Interesting.
Which is basically old school Team America.
But he's got Liliana. Interesting.
So
I feel like your 3-drop slot is really overtaxed.
That's why there's Dark Thresh. So I like Dark Thresh. Dark Thresh runs threats as 4 Delver, 4 Termagoyf, and 3 Gurmag.
Sure.
I actually kind of like that because it runs Stifle too. Most people don't like playing Stifle in Paper Magic or in real life or anywhere actually. I think pretty much the only people who are playing Stifle are Rug Delver players. But yeah, so he's gonna force True Name, which is interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
But like I think it's kind of this is that concoction of Bug good stuff mid range.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you're right, because, like, is it Jaceless Bug? I mean, these are the different variants.
Who knows?
So back to my, like, kind of describing them, I guess that's important to do. So, okay, so we got Dark Thresh, which I just kind of described, which runs Daze, Stifle, and Thoughtseize.
Sure.
Doesn't run Hymn to Torok. Then you get Team America. So basically, Dark Thresh, think of it like Canadian Threshold, but Dark Thresh. It's going to try to cut you off at the knees with mana, disruption, play Gurmags, kill you.
Yeah.
Very much kind of like the way Canadian Threshold does. And then you go from there, you get Team America. Team America is that old 2007 archetype. You know, Sinkholes, Hymn to Toroks, later on Tombstalkers. Cards that basically are just kind of Lily on the Veil's another one.
Yeah.
Where basically you just kind of want to just 2-for-1 them with Hymn to Toroks, kill their lands with Wastelands and Sinkholes, and then just play a big guy like a Tombstalker or a Termaglyph and kill him. I don't know what he's doing with his graveyard. It's weird. And then, of course, you've got Bug Delver, which is similar to Dark Thresh, but I think the good Bug Delver decks, ironically, run like 2 Lilianas. Usually it's of the Last Hope. It looks like he's Ring the Veil. Like a Sylvan Library, 4 Delvers, 4 Termaglyph, and then like 3 True Names. And then, like, so you're kind of lower to the ground.
Yeah.
But you can get some pretty big Termaglyphs with using Sylvan Library and your Planeswalkers.
Sure.
And then you get to run Days and stuff like that. And then there's, like, one card that secretly kind of fits in is, like, Baleful Strix. Like, you can play Baleful Strix in these shells, not in the Bug Delver one or the Dark Thresh one, but in that mid-range one you get to run Baleful Strix, so it can even grow your Goyfs more. But generally you want to be killing artifacts, so like your Abrupt Decays, so you kind of let your opponent put the artifact in the graveyard for you. So generally the only version that runs the Baleful Strix is kind of that mid-range good stuff.
Looks like our Bug Delver player has Tarmogoyf as his draw for the turn.
Unfortunately, all those variants run Termaglyph.
Yeah. And
Bug's in a weird spot
Revoker
right now.
definitely naming Lily here. Tarmogoyf should be big enough to...
It's Aether Vial, so we're looking at a 5. If there's a sorcery, it's a 5/6. If there's no sorcery, it's a 4/6.
There's, I think there's sorcery.
I'll be real with you. I don't like Shardless. I never have and never will. Now, I didn't play when Shardless was good, so I guess I'm biased to the fact. This is my thing with Shardless. You're paying 3 mana for a 2/2.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, yeah, you end up getting a card, but like I never feel like that 2/2 is really worth it.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it's just kind of moved beyond, right? Like, there's so many better 3-drops that you'd be playing. Like, True Name is better. Even, like, Leovold is better.
Well, absolutely.
In the 3-mana slot.
Another thing is Snapcastering and Cantripping is probably fine, too.
Yeah.
Snapcastering Thoughtseizing is probably a little better. I just feel like you gain a lot of fake advantage. Like, you just gotta get mediocre, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, and there are, like, you can't really build your deck in a way that there aren't times where you're not going to hit off of your Shardless, so...
Yeah. So Force of Will and Brainstorm.
Brainstorm...
I mean, no offense, but like, if you're a fan of Shardless, like, I don't think that means you should have given up on Legacy. There's plenty of other decks that share the same archetype and this same kind of creed. I mean, the reason why Shardless decks were good were because of value, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Grixis Control is probably just really a way better version of Shardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, like,
basically, in the place of Shardless, you have cards like Kolaghan's Command, right?
Hymn to Torok, and stuff like that. So you're like gaining that advantage and doing unfair things.
Right.
And to be honest, like, if you like Shardless, like the bug control, like, I don't like the bug control decks. I just feel like they're too medium. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like getting a warm Coke. Like, everybody like Coke's good, it's tasty, and you're thirsty, and someone gives you a warm Coke. You're probably still going to drink it, but you're probably like, man, I wish this was cold. And that's kind of how I feel like when I play Bug. But, like, the decks, I mean, look at the cards that we're describing in the Bug archetype. They're definitely powerful, you know what I mean? Termaglyph, I mean, there's none of these...
They're all powerful cards, but...
Yeah, I mean, we look at other archetypes, so Canadian Threshold, I don't care what anybody says. Nimble Mongoose is not a powerful card. The cards... is almost terrible.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
You're very getting close to being unplayable, in my opinion. It's controversial, but
Speaking of Mongoose, it looks like our Bug Delver player has Mongoose in his
So that
deck.
means he's playing like some strange version of Dark Thresh that probably doesn't run Gurmag but runs Nimble Mongoose instead, which I don't like at all. I think is terrible. Because if that Nimble Mongoose is a Gurmag, that's pretty good against D&T. You know what I mean?
All right. So Palace Jailer gets Force of Willed, and that's probably a big one here, being able to keep that Tarmogoyf around. And
Jeff's got some good stuff though, and it's Liliana, like, it's not close to doing something, and it sacking and killing a Recruiter guard is certainly not good. It plusing. I mean, if you plus in a situation where you have to lose the card, yeah, we got what you meant. Grixis,
yeah,
I know what you meant. Yeah, Grixis Delver, I think, is in a good spot too. I just O2'd with it, so obviously it's good. I O2'd against 2 combo decks too, so obviously it's really good because I'm not to beat the combo deck.
A very small sample size.
I've ranged and pondered a lot. But that's the thing though. Like, you gotta, one thing you have to know, there was a time where Bug Delver was a little bigger, so it had a better matchup.
Right.
Yeah, he isn't. His magic etiquette's not the greatest.
All right, so Jeff trying to resolve Flicker Wisp. I'd imagine that would be flickering. Interesting.
So he wants to
flicker
deal with
Tarmogoyf.
The one thing I could see is Jeff may. Oh, I thought he was. Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't go after Recruiter, and just try to keep going wider on the board. He might be a little worried about.
I don't know.
Toxic Deluge or something.
Well, there's an Abrupt Decay, so Abrupt Decay may have hit Revoker, so maybe that was a good play.
Yeah.
Jeff's got some cards in hand. One of them's a Stoneforge and one of them's a Flicker Wisp. So Jeff's probably thinking, I have time.
Sure.
And Jeff sees this Nimble Mongoose, and you're thinking, is Jeff shaking in his boots? No, he's not. He doesn't care. Jeskai Delver, it's kind of the same thing, where you look at Jeskai Delver and you start comparing it to Delver decks, and it slowly gets less powerful, and then you ask yourself, should I be playing with Delver of Secrets, or should I take the Delvers out, have more cantrips, add in Jaces, and play Jeskai Stoneblade? Right. That's the thing is, it's just like...
And even with Jeskai Stoneblade, you have to start asking yourself, are you just a worse version of a different Stoneforge deck?
Yeah, and that's Jeskai Delver is just like, I think Jeskai Stoneblade is better than Jeskai Delver. Mm-hmm. Where if you want to be doing Delvery things, I think you want to be... Again, I would say there's a better Delver deck.
Sure.
I don't think the deck's dead. I actually really don't. I think Jeskai Delver's got a good matchup versus Death Shadow. Its matchup versus D&T is not so bad because you've got a lot of red, Grim Lavamancer, Izzet Caster stuff, Jitte, Batterskull, things like that. Like, so the deck finds its place to beat certain decks.
Sure.
But it's a deck that will always be a little bit behind. It's always going to find itself in these weird 45-55 matchups. And it's never going to have a matchup where it just, other than maybe Death Shadow, it's never going to completely blow it up. I don't like Goose at all anymore. And that's why I would rather play Dark Thresh, because you play Gurmag instead of Mongoose. But his take on it is to play Mongoose instead of Gurmag, which I don't like. If Baleful Strix wasn't so good and Gurmag Angler wasn't so good, I think Nimble Mongoose would be great. I just don't think, not anymore.
Yeah, I think it just has too much to fight through.
Yeah.
Like, creatures have gotten a lot better since the last time we saw a Nimble Mongoose around.
Yeah. It is your most important card in Rug Delver versus Miracles, ironically.
Sure, yeah.
But
and it's very hard to deal with. But even they've got more tools to deal with it.
Yeah. Council's Judgment.
Yeah, Council's Judgment. They still have access to Terminus. They've got a bunch of board wipes that they can do. But and Miracles just kind of out-card advantages you.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, you have to get some good. You have to go hard in the paint, and it's a lot of Rug Delver players try to go full Shroud against Miracles, and I just feel like you can't, because I feel like you just gotta kind of go hard in the paint early, get enough damage in, and then ride a Mongoose to the very end and stifle like a Terminus.
Yeah.
The Port and the Thalia are going to be really taxing too.
Definitely, with Bug Delver only on 3 lands. Sword coming down, that's going to be pretty good on this
Flicker Wisp. Yeah.
Flicker Wisp. 5 damage coming across, plus a card draw.
I think it's a good deck. I just don't think it's not close to where it was once.
Yeah.
It's not a bad deck by any means.
It's just not like
if I rank the Delver decks, I'll tell you my ranking on them. I think I'm going to give Death Shadow number 1 right now.
Okay.
Grixis will become number 1, I think, in a month after Richmond.
Gotcha.
So I would personally go Death Shadow, Grixis, Rug, Dark Thresh, and then Jeskai. But the problem is, I just feel like Rug's having an issue right now where the way that Rug is good is because of kind of like the Delvery things of getting under someone with Stifle and Dazes and Wastelands. And most people can do that. And like you're going to have those draws. But over kind of a longer game, like the deck just drops off. You know, and the deck really gets punished by True Name. By no means is it a bad deck. It's definitely a good deck, but it's no means, you know, once the great deck it was, you know. Like when you see Rug Delver in the hands of someone like, you know, Jacob Wilson at the Pro Tour, yeah, it's going to look good.
Yeah.
But even he kind of got punished by other things.
All right, so it looks like Toma has a Dark Depths combo online with double sphere effect in play. And this looks like a rough spot for Gordon.
But yeah, Baleful Strix is a good card. Like, I'm not telling you that Baleful Strix just kill. I mean, Baleful Strix is really good against Death Shadow. But the one thing is, like, the thing is they have, you know, it's just kind of the threat basis are just better. You know what I mean? If anyone draws 3 Baleful Strix versus any of those decks are going to struggle. I mean, that's just the nature of Delver decks, right? Like, I think your comments, like, it's fine, but like at the end of the day, you could just replace that with because any card in any Delver deck can't handle Strix that well, except for the following, you know, Bitter Blossoms, Young Pyromancers, True Name Nemesis, and yeah, I mean, it's the truth. The problem with Strix is like it's always a 2. You got a 2-for-1 yourself to deal with it.
Yeah, and it probably is one of the better 2-for-1s in the format.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's definitely a good deck. It definitely can get under people, but it's just like it's the power level of its creatures are what worries me, you know. There's a thorn in the sphere.
Yep. And Gordon kind of looking at his hand of Chain of Vapor and a couple other cards that don't really do enough in the time. So it looks like Toma's got the game. I wonder if Toma took game 1 or if they're going to game 3. We'll find out.
I don't know. We don't know.
Looks like they're going to the sideboard, so it looks like we're going to get a game 3 here.
Yeah, because Storm wins game 1 no matter what.
It should be a pretty good matchup, game 1 for sure.
And Jeff beat Bug Delver, right?
Yeah, Jeff took game 1.
Yeah, this is like Mongoose Delver. Like Mongoose Delver.
It's definitely an interesting build. Lands is just OP.
I played against Jody Keith twice last night with Maverick.
Oh yeah?
He was sad. You can watch him on the stream. He got sad.
Rug wants to keep you off tempo, but the Grixis decks don't care.
Yeah, I mean that's
just some sign over. Yeah, for sure. Like, all right, I guess we got a lot of mats today. Mat on Bug. Cool. Alright, well, it looks like these guys over here are getting started sooner, so we'll hop on over and take a look at some opening hands. So, Matt gonna take a mulligan. Didn't look like there were any lands in there. Worth knowing, you did have Baleful Strix.
I wonder if he boards those in.
It'd be interesting. Like,
so when I played Bug Delver, I had 2 Baleful Strixes in the board. Just the reason why is generally against decks where Baleful Strix is good against, you generally either sometimes take your Delvers out and become more of a. I used to sideboard 2 Jaces too.
Sure.
You become more control-y
Yeah.
and more hedgy on your like abrupt decays, your fatal pushes. So like it's sometime in this. So think of it like this. Bug Delver can kind of like transform into 2 modes. In this game too, we're gonna see him be more control-y, like because he wants to be able to deal with Jeff's creatures, clear the board, and then land a big threat and kill him.
Makes a decent amount of sense.
Baleful Strix is always kind of like an interesting one against D&T because like it's never like the greatest, but like it like blocks Flicker Wisp, but really like nothing else.
Right.
It's like it doesn't block Dahlia, it doesn't block Mirror and Crusader.
Pretty mildly annoying. Doesn't block Thalia, doesn't
it doesn't feel as good as like when you play it against like certain other things.
Yeah.
But it's still a very good card. It draws a card.
Alright, so Jeff starting out with Wasteland.
Like we actually I actually like put like my conversation in the. Did you read our conversation? I was like, why do people play bug decks? It's like I was playing a ton of line. Like,
yeah.
The funny part is I actually would agree with Brian that the only reason why I would ever want to play bug, I feel like, would be if I wanted to play Food Chain, like because like it makes sense.
Yeah, bug just doesn't seem like it's very well situated at the moment. Like. The things that it's trying to do.
But again, it still has like powerful cards. It's kind of like Stoneblade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of, it kind of reminds me how when people would be like, "Hey, is Stoneblade still a playable Legacy deck?" Yeah, of course it's still playable. I mean, you get to cast cards like Sylvan Library, Ponder, Abrupt Decay, Baleful Strix. Like, of course, if you told me like, "Hey, you're gonna Ponder, you're gonna play Sylvan Library, and you're gonna play Leovold," like it's pretty good against most decks, so I'm gonna be okay with that.
Yeah, unless you have a combo kill. Yeah. Go bigger. It looks like that's Matt's goal here, going bigger. He's able to get a Sylvan Library going. He's looking at...
every time I play Sylvan Library, I have a mandatory pay for. I don't like that he didn't do that. I don't think so. I think Bob's got to stay out of the blue-black Death Shadow. Also, keep this in mind. When you look at the blue-black Death Shadow list, look at the mana cost of every single card in the deck. And there's got something... It's all 1.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, but I think Bob costs too much. And I don't like Bob's volatility. You run Gurmag Angler and Force of Will.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't.
I don't think you can afford Bob.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Fatal Push Thalia. Pithing Needle keeping Aether Vial in check. We know that Jeff has a decent number of lands still in hand, so it's probably not going to be a problem for him to cast out his spells. Matt down to 2 cards in hand, but he does have...
Dread Knight.
Yeah, that's a card. That is a card. Wow. So that's going to shut off a pretty strong majority of Jeff's deck.
So just shut off that guy. He's still a 1/1.
Still a 1/1. He gets in for 2.
He dies to Marsh Casualties now, which is that a second Dread Knight or is that a Gurmag? Please don't tell me it's a second Dread Knight.
I can't quite tell.
It sure looks like a second.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Man,
if it is though, I'd imagine he'd just be slamming that.
Dread Knight is no carpet of flowers.
There's a duress. So he's going to take one of the.
That's weird.
Swords.
I'm surprised he's running duress in the sideboard. Thoughtseize or Inquisition just seems better. Dread of Night. I'm actually not a fan of Dread Knight. I don't think I could ever play Dread Knight. I feel like I'd have Dread Knight.
It's okay.
Well, it's a fine card. I just feel like I would play against like elves and goblins.
Do you feel like you'd rather have Engineered Plague in that slot then?
Marsh Casualties.
Marsh Casualties.
I'll take Marsh Casualties. Especially if I'm playing with 2 Snapcasters, I'll take Marsh Casualties.
Fair enough, yeah. The double black can be a little troublesome against decks like this.
See, the thing is, him can hit Gurmag. And trust me, as someone who's had a Gurmag or their true name hit by him to Torok, that's hard to say. And generally, the decks that run him to Torok, they also run Baleful Strix. So you hemming them, getting a 2-for-1, and them Gurmagging you, and you going Baleful Strix, I think you're okay with that exchange because you netted... you 2-for-1 him off of him to Torok, and you 2-for-1 him off of Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
And that's saying that you didn't even trade your Baleful Strix with Gurmag.
Sure.
So potentially you 3-for-1 him.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think him's fine. Like, him's never going to be... like, him has a very high floor, I feel like. You know, you're almost always going to get value off of your him.
A late game. You draw him late game, you know.
Yeah.
Take 2.
In for 2.
I mean, if Jeff raw dogs an equipment here,
oh yeah,
this game's like almost over. Especially if you can get away from getting, you know, those other effects.
Well, Stoneforge is still in play, like
yeah, absolutely
as a draw.
Yeah, it's a 2-1. Oh, okay. He didn't stack that right. You stack. So what you do, for all you kids at home,
stack the
what's a draw?
library trigger.
No, it's a draw. This is a draw step trigger, so it doesn't matter.
Second Delver.
Man, if Jeff gets Jitte, mid game ends.
Yep. We'll see what happens here. Still very much up for grabs.
Mom's not going to be very good. Jeff can always swords too.
Window's going to close. I mean, 2 swords already in the graveyard. These Delvers are going to flip.
I don't like, you know what Delvers I don't like? Any Delver that's not Italian. Freaking trash Delvers.
So looking at,
I don't know why he's not being. I'd probably pay 4 here.
Yeah, he's been very conservative with
I
this.
want Baleful Strix and Brain. Well, you can Brain because his land. How many lands does he have?
He's got 2 and 3 in play.
You need to take the fetch or just fetch.
Island Bayou Trop.
I would take the fetch in the Brainstorm or maybe the Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix doesn't stop you against, but it gives you a card. Brainstorm gives you more cards, but you may not be able to shuffle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's mismanaging his Sylvan Library.
Yeah, he's been extremely conservative with it, and
listen, he's got a clock, but like
he's just using it as basically a top on every
why
draw
did
step.
Jeff not swords the? Oh, did he
And
lose both swords?
He lost both. Yeah.
Like he's super like. Jeff's at the point where if he plays Stoneforge now, he can get Jitte. Yeah, that's kind of what I said, right? I don't think so, because those decks run 4 Baleful Strix. Like, that's my thing. That's the thing, is they run 4 Baleful Strix. Like, as someone who's been on both sides of it, like, they're going to have the Baleful Strix. Like, they run 3 to 2 Hymn to Torox.
Yeah, I feel like it's a non-zero chance. I feel like it's definitely...
Yeah, I just feel like they're going to get the Baleful Strix. Like, this is going to sound weird, but if we're playing in a situation where we're playing against the decks that run Hymn to Torok, like, I'm kind of more talking about Grixis control, I guess, in this thing. And Grixis Delver probably has a pretty good matchup versus Grixis control. Not a pretty good one, maybe just an okay one because of Gurmag and True Name. But if you think about it, like, if we're going to be allowed to, like, do what we want to do, because I'm assuming we're going to cast other spells than just Gurmag Angler off of getting Hymn to Torok.
Sure.
Like, and I'll tell you one thing, I think we're going to probably try to daze the Hymn to Torok, too. I don't think we're just going to let the Hymn to Torok resolve. Like, yeah, I mean, there's so many different variables, but, like, yeah, the variables of the line of we're going to let Hymn to Torok resolve defeat our Gurmags,
right? I
don't think that's, like, something we want to have happen. But I feel like if it resolves and we're in that situation, I feel like, okay, this is something that's going to propel us to play this Gurmag earlier. So, like, it makes sense. This is going to sound weird. If I'm on Grixis Delver and I'm getting Hymn to Torok and I can't stop it and I have a Gurmag in hand, I'm never, like, excited about it.
Sure.
I'm thinking about, okay, now we can run out the Gurmag. But if this Gurmag dies, we're down 2 cards.
Yeah.
Like, that's a serious thing. So, like, I get what your response is. It makes a lot of sense. You're right. Like, we're painting kind of a gold picture here. But, like, you have to realize the situation we're in isn't, like, necessarily the best situation either. Like, I think you would agree that there's times where I've had days in my hand and I'll let the Hymn to Torok resolve. Generally, if I have 7 cards in hand. And, like, I value the days so much where I wanted to hit something else. But generally, like, you're going to daze or you're going to spell pierce it.
Sure.
You just are.
All right, so this looks like Matt should have lethal here, barring anything that Jeff has.
I'll tell you one thing. On the flip side of it, if we're Inquisitioning or Thought Seizing, and I see a Hymn to Torok or Baleful Strix, I mean, generally, if we have a decent hand, I probably would take the Baleful Strix if I have a threat.
Sure.
But, it's also something you got to realize, like, if I have a Bolt, maybe there's a chance I just acknowledge I'm going to get 2 for 1 either way, and maybe I take the Hymn to Torok if So, like, it's not so vanilla where it's cut and dry. Like, you have to obviously, like, you know, you have to peel through the layers. Like, nothing's going to be so simple as the fact of, you know, him Torok's not a bad card versus Grixis Delver. You know, it's one of those things where.
So our backup match is over. So we're just going to stay here while they sideboard.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so 1-1 here, and looks like Matt has a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup.
Matt just killed him with Delvers. He just
killed him with Delvers and Dread a Knight. Like
Dread a Knight and 2 Delvers. Yeah.
It's
Delver Secrets. He flips, you know, real Center Sorcery and becomes a 3/2 flyer. So.
Yeah, the black is just kind of a matted color on the, what is it, like a smoke colored sleeve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. So that's all it is. What just happened, True Nightmare?
Yeah, still amazing.
Yeah.
$2 slip, Dread Knight got cast.
Yeah.
Jeff got his stuff pushed in.
So if you're Jeff, what are you looking to get on the board early here?
Well, you don't want to get Pithing Needled. You don't want to get Dread of Knighted.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose both your swords. So I think Jeff's gonna pretty much just gonna ask to do what he wants to normally do. The Mirror Crusader draw was fine. He was missing an equipment. If Jeff has an equipment or a Sword of Fire and Ice, it ends, and it's in Jeff's favor. So I think Jeff got a little bit unlucky there. I mean, we saw Jeff almost win through a Pithing Needle, you know, a Dread of Night, and 2 Delvers if he just got an equipment.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where Jeff being on the play is going to help a lot here. You know, Pithing Needle is obviously going to be in play, but still, I think Jeff just wants to do normal D&T stuff. And the one thing we've seen with this Bug Delver deck is it's kind of struggled with its mana.
Sure.
So
yeah. Yeah, I think Mana Denial Plan in the early game really favors Jeff if he can keep things off the board early. So, like, being able to go, like, first turn Aether Vial or off of, like, a Wasteland or something like that, and being able to force Matt to play around that with his mana really makes things a lot more awkward on his side.
Yeah.
Yeah, double sleeved. Yeah.
That makes sense. I get what you're saying. Like, what you're saying isn't wrong by any means. Like, I get. I mean, generally, you're right. The decks that run those cards are trying to do too many things, and there's times when those decks lose because they have angle problems, and that's why kind of Grixis Delver, and even Death Shadow can beat Grixis controls because these angular problems where you have the Lightning Bolt but they have a Death Shadow or Gurmag, or you have the Fatal Push and they have the Gurmag.
Sure. Yeah,
that's kind of how you lose. Actually, is just kind of like a failure of being able to match your cards up. But like you're right. But like generally the deck wants to price the other opponent out of the game to the point where they have enough time to dig and cantrip to find the answers.
Exactly.
So, actually, Black Red Reanimator, they probably wouldn't mind getting him to Torok. That's like the one deck. Or Dredge. They probably would be like happy. Man, what did he do?
Yeah.
Who are you targeting?
Okay, interesting. So Jeff has Rest in Peace in his hand.
Well, it shuts off Termaglyph. It shuts off... I don't like that play, and I'll tell you why in a second. It shuts off Termaglyph.
Yep.
Termaglyph's useless.
Sure, yeah. 0/1.
Mongoose is terrible.
Yep.
If he has Snapcaster, it gets shut off.
Sure.
If he's got Liliana Last Hope, it's a little worse.
Yep.
And let me tell you why I don't like the Dread Knight play. Right now, this Dread Knight isn't doing anything.
So basically, Jeff gets to keep more cards in his hand and make plays with a little bit more knowledge later. Looks like Matt has Abrupt Decay for this Rest in Peace.
Hey, a pretty nuts hand. If someone draws Dread Knight in Sylvan Library like this against D&T, it's going to be hard to lose. To be honest, I didn't like the way Matt played with the Sylvan Library last game.
He's definitely been very conservative with it, so we'll see if that continues.
I do believe that Sylvan Library says when this enters the battlefield, you must pay 4 life the first time you play it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's turn 2.
Yeah, I play it pretty similarly.
So 2 mana. What do we got here from... Jite.
Okay.
It'll be interesting if we see the Wasteland here from Jeff. If we see the Wasteland, it could represent. I like hitting the green.
Mongoose is the play.
You know what's really good right here?
Rest in peace.
Mirror and Crusader.
Mirror and Crusader would be a good one.
We'll lose the Jite though, but still.
Sanctum Prelate could be a good one.
Yeah, Sanctum Prelate calling. I'm not a
Probably
D&T
put it on like.
I'm not a D&T master, so I couldn't figure it out.
I'd say 2 would be what I'd want to put it on.
Yeah, because it kills all your Stoneforge though.
It stops like okay, so that's pretty good. Council's Judgment.
He's not a new play. He doesn't play a ton, but he's always just been known for being kind of a slop. Oh, I thought he picked it.
Interesting. So he takes the Sylvan Library.
Jeff may be thinking, hey, he's going to be able to Sylvan and find his lands.
Yeah.
And I've got a line where I can.
Fair enough. Yeah. Just trying to slow things down a bit, and
he's got a Mirror Crusader, by the way.
Hey, yeah.
But
That's the thing.
I like Jeff's play there.
He's got Caracas as well, and if he ever finds a Brightling's another card.
So Matt drew Wasteland, which is something to say. This is another thing where bug decks kind of lose their mana base.
Mm-hmm.
They generally play Wasteland, so sometimes it's whatever. Yeah, dude, he didn't pay 4. He didn't pay 4. If he would have paid 4, like, so you see what I mean? Like,
no library equity.
Wasteland just not very good here.
No, definitely not. And Matt's looking at a hand where there's a bunch of double mana cost cards here. So now that this,
I would, you know what? I know you probably would maybe disagree with this. I would be really aggressive with the pumping. I would pump.
So you'd pump after first strike?
I would pump after first strike.
Yeah, I think I would too.
I would go real hard. We'd be, I think Liliana Last Hope may be the call here.
I think that's so far away from being cast that I'm not sure I'd name it. I'm not sure what I would name here, to be honest.
Is that I thought that was another Noble Mongoose. Is that a 0/1 Termaglyph?
It is a 0/1 Termaglyph.
Such a good card. Again, I think Jeff just wants to just
is this Crusader lethal in next hit?
Is it so?
It's got 4 counters on it.
So that means it's a 9/9. He's
so
dead.
It'd be 18 damage, right?
He's dead, right?
18 damage. Plus you can first strike and get more. This should be game, right?
Yeah, kill him. Oh, Jeff threw the dice. Jeff said dead.
Okay, there
dead.
you go.
Killed
so,
you.
Mirren Crusader with Jite.
Really want to give a shout out to Nimble Mongoose and Termaglyph that game for just being able to do absolutely nothing. Not only because there's a Mirren Crusader, but also because rest in peace.
Wow. So Jeff takes that match 2-1.
Tell you what, I mean, Dread of Night and Sylvan Library, you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
I guess you could have asked for lands, but you could have also paid the price.
Yeah.
I think if he pays and he finds that other land, I think he's able to,
Yeah, and that's kind of a theme we saw is very
passive Sylvan Library.
Very passive.
It's not Mary's Guile. It's Sylvan Library. Let's play it as such.
For sure.
So.
Well, I'm not sure who won the backup match.
Who cares?
But
Lands and Storm. Who cares?
Gordon's been on a tear, so I'd be.
Yeah.
He's
played goblins and lands. I mean,
definitely good matchups. For sure.
What did he play round 2? I don't know.
Round 2. Did he play round 2?
Oh, he played Dredge.
Yeah, Dredge. So 3 good matchups.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't win those matchups, you probably should. That's like, I don't even think Brian Cook's tutoring sessions could help you.
So in this last round, we'll probably see some more Death and Taxes.
Yeah. Someone should offer him to play Mary's Guys. See what he said. That's what I said. What is it? What is that link? Is it like a meme? Oh, it's just a cat dude's face. Yeah. I don't even know who that is.
I don't know, man. It's a Twitch thing.
You look like you know. I feel like you do know. So 4 minutes. Yeah, so Death and Taxes was either lands or Storm, which is both kind of boring matchups. Death and Taxes going Sanctum Prelate on 2. Just shuts down both decks, though.
Yeah.
So Can you? Yeah, you can't.
I kind of want to see Death and Taxes versus Storm because I think that's a tough matchup for Storm, but there's still some play.
Okay. It's Tuesday night. Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Who cares?
Yeah. Whoops.
Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We can fix that.
It's all just the dredge of life.
My bad, guys.
Life sucks.
Thought I got everything.
You know, I texted somebody today. I've had such a terrible week and had such bad luck. I'm gonna get hit by lightning today, and it's freaking raining and lightning outside.
It was really, really strong.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hit by
shaking
fucking
the building.
Light. Sorry, that was my. Sorry, Brian. I've been so good, but I'm gonna tell you about my week. This is my rant. You guys are gonna be my therapist for a minute. So my leg. I'll just show the stream my leg.
No.
Can they see it? Okay, you can see the blood. Ugh, okay. So I've got like 3 major bone bruises. I have a major severe contusion.
Oof.
Which is there's a chunk of my skin that's missing. They told me I need to be off my leg 6 to 8 weeks, which I'm probably not going to do. And then today, I have these fancy Italian tires on my Infiniti that are supposed to be these run flats. My tire was shredded on the freeway, so I had to pull the side of the freeway in the middle of rush hour traffic and get a tow truck to take me here. I'm trying to think of what other terrible things have happened to me today or recently. Oh, I'm gonna get hit by lightning. That's another one. What else? I don't know. That's it. Let's talk about Legacy.
You consider just like not
living? No. Okay, so Legacy coming up. Richmond's coming up.
Yeah, coming up.
Let's talk metagame a little bit as they get ready. Oh, it looks like they're getting ready pretty soon. Oh, they're putting stuff away. Metagame for Richmond. What are we taking a looking at? No, I'm actually divorced, so we could just add that. You know what? I don't care if nobody cares. I care though. But back to Legacy talk.
So Death Shadow is definitely going to be a deck that you'll see a lot more going into Richmond after the Pro Tour, right?
The gash in my leg. Long story. I do Muay Thai and I basically just kick the crap out of the wall and it's sleepwalking. But so Death Shadow, new kid on the block. Definitely a good Delver deck. It does good stuff while it's doing it. One thing about it is miracles, swords to plowshare is a thing.
Yeah.
We didn't see almost any miracles at the Pro Tour. I think we're going to see that change at Richmond.
Sure.
We're going to see more Stoneblade. We're going to see more miracles. I think we're going to see a lot of Sneak and Show, a lot of Death and Taxes. And we saw that. We saw how they prepared for it. They saw that they needed those Dreaded Knights and Ratchet Bombs. So that's going to be interesting to see if the general meta adapts to a heavy Death Shadow meta, or people are playing Death Shadow, or people are trying to adapt to it. Generally, that's kind of like, right, that's the kind of the first puzzle is, are we going to try to beat the meta, or are we going to adapt to it?
And how Death Shadow fights against that as well. So, like, cards like Throne of Geth I've seen be thrown around as being able to get rid of Chalice counters and stuff like that.
I think the Secret Boogeyman is actually Grixis Control. Because Grixis controls the most played deck. It's the deck that has the most value to it. It's the most linear control deck. And frankly, to be said, I think it's probably the easiest and less punishing of all the control decks.
Sure.
That being said, how much of that are we going to see? Probably a good amount. And that deck offers problems to Death and Taxes.
Yeah.
It offers problems to Stoneblade decks,
depending
on how the Stoneblade player plays. It has a weaker matchup versus Miracles. Its Death Shadow matchup is about 50-50.
I think it'll be interesting to see as well what combo decks show up. I'd expect to see a decent amount of decks like Elves and Sneak and Show and stuff like that. Mainly because Elves has a good matchup against decks like Death Shadow.
Well, Elves is kind of interesting because Elves kind of get sniped by everybody else.
Right.
But like when it comes to combo decks, like obviously you're going to have like the usual suspects.
Sure.
But I think what's really going to dictate it is going to be, and that's another thing is Grixis Control's matchup versus combo is not like the most amazing. It also beats the crap out of Elves though. So that's another thing is like, are Elves people going to want to suit up Elves knowing they're going into a Miracles and they're going to
Miracles? I mean, that's going to be interesting to see.
But can Death Shadow beat them? Like, they've got Dazes, they've got Disruption, they got Forces. So I think it's got enough game where I think that Death Shadow decks kind of almost push those out. So that's the thing is like, you're right. All those things are good against Death Shadow, but remember Death Shadow's a Delver deck. It can get under it.
It still gets under it.
It gets So that's the thing. Like it's the reason why before Gurmag they may chalice you on one, and you may have one Delver on the field already, and Gurmag come in and Gurmag may clean up the game. So.
All right, so looks like I'm going to get my wish here. We've got Gordon on Storm versus Jeff on Death and Taxes. And then we've got Lands with Toma versus Matt, and I think that Matt is our Bug Delver player. Lots of Matts today.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't know how... I'm actually not even excited for either of these matchups. Yeah, I just don't... So Jeff basically has to resolve like a Thalia pretty much no matter what.
Thalia is pretty good. There's a lot more value out of Phyrexian Revoker, which can hit LED as well as Lotus Petal.
Okay.
Sanctum Prelate can be a tough card to deal with. If you Sanctum Prelate on 4, there's no win conditions main deck that can get you there. He has some dead cards too. Swords is not great, but might be able to bring you above a lethal Tendrils. If you swords yourself.
I guess. I don't think that's gonna be a lie. I don't think that's like a reason to play swords. Like,
no, you're obviously
when,
not. I'm saying it's not a good card.
Like when you go to the big board and we're like, reasons we should play swords to plowshare.
No.
I don't think one of the reasons we write on there is we could save ourselves if we're about to die to Tendrils of Agony.
No. That's certainly not the go-to.
We can watch the D&T Storm matchup. I always get annoyed when I see lands players. Deck's not good right now. Stop playing lands. Go home. It's my least favorite. Lands is probably my least favorite deck. And if you're a lands player, I hope you're offended, because I really don't care how you feel. I care about what the fair blue players play, the fair white players play, like the Maverick players. I believe he's on Ad Nauseam.
Yeah, it's Ant.
Oh, so he can't beat even if he couldn't beat those. Brian Cook wouldn't tutor him because Brian Cook's a test expert. Okay. No, just ready mulliganing. I don't like American cheese. I don't mind Storm or Reanimator. I lost a Reanimator today, and I don't know. Sometimes I just have it. It's just kind of like, sometimes you force a will 3 reanimate spells and they have a 4th one. That happens.
Lens is goat. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's the world I want to live in. I'm fine with miracles. I'm fine with miracles being decks. I'm fine with all those decks. I just lose to. I lose those decks too. I actually am more annoyed when I play miracles, to be honest, but I'll be okay with miracles. I just don't like lands, and actually part of the reason why is when lands was a deck when I used to play before I quit the first time. Mm-hmm. It was the way they killed you was just punishing fire. Like, so it used to be even more boring. Like, I just don't think that I don't know. I just think it's such a weird deck. Like, I just don't.
It is kind of a weird deck for sure.
Black Red Reanimator, like sometimes you just like they beat themselves too. Like, whenever they keep a 7, you're always like, it's not good. Yeah. But they mulligan so much.
They have to.
Like,
that's their hands are just so volatile. Like, and when Reanimator is good, it looks unbeatable because it is.
If I could remove 3 decks from Legacy, I would remove lands. What else would I remove?
What would you remove?
We would remove lands. We would remove Eldrazi Post.
Okay.
And then we would remove...
I feel like Lands is just the slowest depth deck in the world.
No, I'm fine with the Chalice decks. As someone who plays Delver Secrets, I'm actually fine with the Chalice decks. Kind of like them around. I probably would remove, like, Dredge is fine too, to be honest. Like,
oh yeah, Dredge is just checking if you've built your sideboard correctly.
Eldrazi Post, Lands, and I'm trying to think of something else.
It's not bad, just 2 decks.
Yeah, look, I only removed 2 decks from Legacy. Yeah, take that, Jorgensen and Captain QC. I removed 2 decks, Lands and Eldrazi Post.
Zagif says he'd remove Miracles, Moon, and the card.
That's
Leopold.
too much. I don't like that. Just remove Eldrazi Post.
Right.
I still like the deck because all the decks I play, if I'm not playing Delver, like Stoneblade decks, like have like a terrible matchup versus it, and it's just annoying. Just watching them play lands, and then eventually get to like 15 mana, and me just sitting there.
So Gordon's got a pretty good start here. He's able to Thoughtseize away both of Jeff's threats, really, in Aether Vial and Thalia.
I played Delver too. I played Delver. You guys can't get mad at that. I the one reasons why I told you is when I play Stoneblade. Delver's got. I like the Delver matchup versus Eldrazi Post.
Yeah.
Because you can Spell Pierce and you can daze their mana artifacts and you wasteland their big lands. So actually, when I'm on Delver, I usually feel pretty good about that. Generally, you can push enough advantage pretty hardly. But the reason why Eldrazi Post is when I play like Esper Stoneblade. That's a deck I play a lot online. It's just like it just kind of bad beats because eventually they just kind of top deck something. I've actually done pretty well against it recently, but like it's just this kind of like frustration of just like this inevitability.
Yeah. You like deploying 12/12s against Joke Eldrazi decks?
I miss Blue-Black Reanimator a lot, too. And unfortunately, I think Blue-Black Reanimator is that girl from high school. Oh, I can't say stuff like this anymore. I don't know. It's that, like, car that you used to, like, think was the coolest car ever. And you're like, man, I really want to buy that car when I grow up. And you grow up and you're like, man, that car's just, like, not very good.
Yeah.
Like, trust me. Blue-White Stoneblade with Back to Basics does, but my point of reference is from Esper Stoneblade, so that you got to realize that. You're absolutely right. Back to Basics is great against that deck.
Oh yeah.
To the point where I've thought about even playing Back to Basics just because of other decks too.
Yeah, I feel like Back to Basics is a pretty strong card.
Yeah, me and Josh were just talking about it, and I was telling Josh about some things I thought about the meta, and one of the ideas he was supportive of was playing some sort of Back to Basic deck.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting, especially with people playing more basics nowadays, but it still just gets decks.
Yeah. So, like, any way Gordon can lose from this position?
There'd have to be a pretty rough string of draws here, but it's looking pretty good for Gordon. Like, Jeff needs to draw another Thalia really quickly.
Bro, 3-color Stoneblade is the high school girl 100%. Ha ha ha.
Get Thalia off the top. That's a lot of these.
This is broke myself before purchase. I actually like Blood Moon too, because I like running the 2 to 3 Volks and running Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, what is this Jorgensen stuff? The deck is really annoying. If I don't kill Bessa, they need to beat me. I like it to be a boxing match. I want it to be a match where you punch me, I punch you, you punch me, I feign, I punch you back, you try to hook me, then I, land across. Like, that's what I like. It's like good old interactive Magic. I don't mind the combo players who like try to rush you real hard. But
you just want interaction.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like the big Eldrazi Post decks. Trust me, I love Ryan to death, and he plays that stupid Eldrazi Post deck all the time.
All right, so
I'm anti-punishing Dak, and it's kind of sad because I feel like my win rate against Clash is like a solid like 30 to 40%, and I don't know. And this is my thought, and I hate to say this because the guy's a good player. Let's say that first of all. But I just wonder if the deck would be as consistent in paper. it just seems like you in a big GP, the deck would struggle a little bit because of the nature of how the deck works.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think he's a good enough player. I'd like to see him take it to a GP and do well with it because I think he could.
Yep, it's real power, guys. He's using it for his storm counters and his mana.
Yeah, kind of. That's why I hate lands. I'm not a fan of this, by the way, and I'm going to go on a rant. Like, I don't get this. Like, no offense, but, like, what is this even? Like, oh, cool, you have power, but, like, that's nice, but, like, I'm not going to go put my car keys on the mat and say, look at me, I drive a really nice sports car. Like, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. It's one of those things where the reason why I play foil cards is because I like the way they look. I also flick my cards pretty hard so they don't bend if they're foils. And, like, at the end of the day, like, honestly, I'm not impressed. Me, George St. Pierre, we are not impressed by his performance. Like, no offense. It just, I'm not a fan of this. It's just not very classy.
I think it's all right. I think you're not going to get much use out of him otherwise. So
I guess. Yeah. Then keep him at home. Put him in a case, you know. Tell you one thing. Don't get mugged going to your car. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a grumpy cat. I'm just telling you like it is, Captain QC. Guess what? Friction Dreadnought sucks. So, yeah, I get you, and I feel the pain of vintage players because it is such a wonderful format. But I just think it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, I'm not gonna say you can't do it. I'm not gonna run out there and reprimand it, but you know, if he was playing against me, I probably would be like, I don't think it's not legal. Dreadnought is one of the worst Magic cards ever. The only way you can play it is to him to it's basically like him to Torocking yourself. You realize that, right, Captain QC? You him to Torok yourself. You go Phyrexian Dreadnought Stifle, and then you're like, oh, I just 2-for-1 myself, and then like Swords to Plowshare it, and you're like, what do you do? Like then you're just like, oh, like yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Fatal Push is kind of rough too.
You know, me and Captain QC played, and he like mulled to 5, and I like him to Toroked him twice.
Ooh.
I don't feel bad about that, honestly. No, it's not my fault. Whatever.
Ban Terry.
I'm not gonna address. Okay, why you just say I'm mad? You just say anything. I'm not the guy playing Stifle with any way to Gold Vision. He just told me, what do you want me to say? I'm not mad. I just don't think Friction Dreadnought's a good card. I'll tell you, Captain Kesey, I will tell you a secret. When somebody told me about the Dreads deck when I first started playing Legacy, I thought it was the coolest deck ever and I wanted to play it. And you know what? They're like, nah. People were like, don't play that thing.
And that's how Terry turned into a Delver player.
And then, the funny part is, I think I probably cast Delver Secrets less than most people. Because you got to remember, when I quit, Delver Secrets wasn't a card.
Okay.
We were just mongoosing people with Termagloys.
Gotcha.
There was no Delver Secrets. So people were calling Rug Delver, and I was like, why don't you guys call it Canadian Threshold? They're like, there's this new card. It's Delver Secrets. I read the card. It's bananas.
So this matchup seems pretty rough for Bug, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just being able to
Well, can you get around stuff? Can you get through stuff?
I guess surgical is really
your surgical's obviously great.
Big point.
A big Goyf early is good.
Okay.
If you True Name gets through Maze of Ith, it's about putting pressure hard, being able to disrupt the Life from Loam, and then Baleful Strikes and Diabolic Edicting the Merit Lage. The reason why Lance is a great deck is it can angle, and it's all about the angles here.
Be interesting to see off of that basic as well if Toma is able to punish his mana base.
I think, you know what? I take it back, Captain QC. Dreadstill is a good deck in 2005. But
Graveyard Order. We're not gonna. Bother.
What time? What year is it?
2018.
Wait a minute. It's 2018. What have we been doing for the last 13 years?
Playing Legacy, apparently. Yeah. I don't think it'll matter, but...
I can't wait to, When's this next GP in Oregon? In my hands, D&T Miracles and just last
nice,
Tuesday.
Fox. 3-0 over D&T Miracles and Red Black. Yeah, so this Ghost Quarter, we've only seen one basic out of
Ghost
Matt so far.
That should be the only basic.
I'd be really shocked if he's running more than one.
Have you guys had the key lime, cookies, and crumble this week? What does that even mean? That's a typical thing some weird Miracles player would say. All right, I'm ignoring that one. You're so good. You can't, don't use JC's name when talk about cookies. Speaking of graveyard, anyone notice Jim at the SCG event in March? He kept reorganizing. No, I didn't.
No. Didn't see it.
Doesn't matter. Crumble Bakery. I've never been there.
Never been there.
Yeah, man.
It sounds good.
Do we look like people who frequent bakeries? Oh. I will try it. Crumble Bakery.
Crumble.
For my leg heals and my car has a freaking tire, I'll go there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my car's going to have 3 Pirelli and a Michelin tire because the Pirelli tires aren't going to get here until Wednesday. Yeah, that's some real life problems.
First world problems.
Oh, Draper. Interesting. They deliver cookies.
Huh.
This is pretty good. Pitting Needle obviously on Thespian stage probably here.
Yeah, it's another good sideboard card that Matt gets to bring in for the matchup. Slow things down a bit.
Hey, what's the deal with blue-white land still? Why are people playing blue-white land still all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Somebody was saying it's because it's got a good Miracles matchup.
I'd assume it would have an okay Miracles matchup.
See that as an opportunity to improve your car. No, it's not. You know what, man? Like, the last person that I saw, I guess I can't say things like, that's one thing they kept bringing up is like, you got to see everything from a growth mindset. Sometimes you just lose, sometimes the torpedo hits the ship and the ship sinks. Like none of this, like, I'm going to see this as an opportunity. No, it sucks. I'm going to spend money to get a new tire and the tire's not even going to match. No, I'm not going to live in a world where I have to see everything as an opportunity or as a growth mindset. It's field versus field, but it's trash versus counterbalance. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. People are saying that. People are really hyping up blue-white standstill. They said they felt like it was comfortable against decks like Grixis Control and Miracles and get under them.
Interesting.
Opportunity for a new ship, yeah. How much does like a battle cruiser cost? It's all like 200 million. Yeah, Fish Steel's a weird deck though. I don't know how I feel about Fish Steel. That's one of those decks where it runs too many cards that don't go well together. And no fetches and brainstorms to smooth out your draws. So, like, sometimes you can just... it's one of those decks where, like, yeah, if you do exactly what you want to do against who you want to do it with,
right,
you're going to crush some people. But at the same time, like, when you're playing with, like, Aether Vials and Chalices and Land Stills and Mutavaults and not enough blues and then a random Jitte, But then sometimes you go, Lord, 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 Lord.
And they go, I'm dead. Yeah.
You want to switch back to Storm? We can.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Just because it's not. I think my commentating rating for tonight's probably a D-, but we've had some good conversation. I'll take that. You guys can watch the Magic, commentate at home. We'll just talk about whatever.
All right, so if I had to guess, Phyrexian Revoker is probably naming LED, and it's probably going to get Abrupt Decayed. Yep, gets Abrupt Decayed. So 2 Flicker Wisps trying to race Gordon down here. And
well, if he's on Ant, I mean, it's...
Yeah.
He's going to go off. He's got Landside Diamond and...
So Dark Ritual, Storm Count 1, LED, Storm Count 3. I think he has an Infernal Tutor in his hand as well, which means he gets to go grab.
Well, it just doesn't matter because he's going to pass some flames and just tendrils them.
Well, you can do this and just grab like another ritual, right? And that's enough. So this should be game.
I'm confused. Does he have 3 blue mana?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. 1 black, 3 blue. He's going to get a lot more black here off of Cabal Writ.
What does he need the blue mana for?
Might just be for extra storm count, getting a couple more cantrips.
But just like sink in the black. Understand. Okay, yeah, pass on one. This is Jeff's. One of Jeff's, I think, weakest things as a player is Jeff just won't scoop. Hey, so you're gonna cast a Dark Ritual.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Dark Writ, Cabal Writ.
Make sure you Cabal Ritual when you have Threshold.
Storm count 8.
Yeah. Okay. So that's over, right?
Yep. Infernal Tutor.
Boom.
Storm count 9, and Gordon wins.
You guys are probably all happy and stuff. So.
So back over here.
You're not a bad night when you're a Storm player and you get to play. You play Gobos, lands, and what else?
D&T and Dredge.
Dredge. Yeah. You win a GP.
All right, so...
hey, there's no problem with that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with people not scooping. But I give Jeff a problem with it because Jeff draws a lot. I like Jeff a lot. Jeff's, I think, a great friend of the store. And Jeff's notorious for drawing. And there's been times where I've seen Jeff with, like, a plains and nothing. And he just, like, slow rolls it. So it's more of an inside joke. But, yeah, I think you should play it out to the very, very bitter end, usually. And if you always have a 1%, you should definitely play it out, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of a side jab to Jeff. And then when Jeff will hear this, he knows. Because I get mad at him. Every time he draws, I get mad at Jeff. And also, it means we have to wait.
So Matt had the edict for Toma's Merit Lage token. And he's facing down just 2 damage a turn currently, thanks to that Maze of Ith being able to keep the Delver at bay.
He's been playing a while, but he just gets in these... We have a very grindy metagame with a lot of Miracles players and a lot of control players. So a lot of times Jeff just is in those grindy matches with D&T. So it's really nothing even he can necessarily be doing. It's just like, you know, he'll...
They just take time.
They take time, and Jeff will play to the bitter end. And,
wow.
You know.
Matt has a second basic. He has a basic forest in his deck as well.
That's weird. I mean,
interesting.
Generally, a deck runs swamp and island. 2 islands and swamp, or 2 swamps and an island.
Okay, so Bajuka Bog is going to get rid of that graveyard, which is going to keep that Mongoose.
What's Nemo Mongoose at now?
It is a 1/1.
Oh.
It's going to stay a 1/1 for a decent amount of time here, too, I believe.
I don't even know what's going on with Matt's field. So it looks like Nimble Mongoose and Baleful Strix have partnered together.
They might be soul bonded.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff's an interesting guy. Yeah.
Third
so
basic.
Swamp.
Okay, so probably just running 1 of each, but that is a ton of basics.
Grim Flare is now championing this Delver.
Okay. Seems strong. Grim Flare is an interesting one. I think that's a okay card to be playing in Bug.
Grim Flare?
Yeah.
Nah.
No?
There's a card called Termago if you ever read it. No, we're not playing Grim Flare and Bug. Get out of here. I don't care what chat says anyways. I'm sure they're going to say something like, Grim Flare, it gives us the ability to cycle 3 cards of our deck so we can filter our draws. No. No. Termagoyf, Heck, play True Name. Heck, just don't play Nimble Mongoose. How about this? I'll make you a deal. If we take the Nimble Mongooses out for Grim Ag, we can play Grim Flare.
Hey, there you go.
I'm not okay. I'm not a fan of Grim Flare. Card's not bad. It suffers from the disease of just not being as powerful as something.
It's a little small, right?
Yeah.
2/2.
I like Termaglyph.
Yeah. Termaglyph's alright. I like Termaglyph too.
Sure.
Like, I certainly wouldn't play any Grim Flare if I didn't already have four.
Me and H.E's Fox agree on this. I get
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Someone encouraging people to play True Name. Yeah, if you don't like it, Rich, do you? I love Legacy. I think I love Legacy more than you, Captain QC. You're stuck in the past, and I'm trying to bring it to the future. I'm trying to modernize it, privatize it, make it so everyone can love it and it can be prosperous. You know, I just want it to be. You know, I want to be able to say it's morning in Legacy again. That's all I'm gonna say. Captain QC wants people to be able to play whatever cards they can get out of the dollar bin. Hey, yeah, Flair does that, but like, you know, you can play Miracles. That's not a favorable matchup. You can play Grixis Control. Whatever. The deck I'd like to play would probably be Esper Stoneblade. But
there's your Termaglyph.
Play Dreadnoughts. You're not even really playing Dreadnoughts. You gotta cheat them in. I'm gonna play Esper Stoneblade at Richmond just to prove you wrong. It's got like a 45-55 against everything.
I think Gorge's a 3/4 right now.
The term faster is a little confusing. Because I think Modern just becomes impactful on those 3-4 turns.
Sure.
While Legacy, you're brainstorming, you're dazing, you're doing a lot in 1-2.
Like Legacy has a lot of very powerful things that if they go unchecked, the game's gonna end very quickly. But there's so many checks and balances to it that usually games go a bit longer.
Yeah, think of it like this: you're a Miracles player. Like, do you think Legacy's faster? Ask yourself that question. No, you're a little bit. You drag games out. Yeah, Stoneblade doesn't have a great combo matchup, even though it runs blue. Like, I'm not surprised that as an Ant player that you've had success against Stoneblade. You know.
All right, so Matt took that game
1-1. I don't even know.
Modern just kind of like the way that the format's built doesn't really make sense. Like the band list doesn't really make sense. Like the goals that they had when they went in as a format.
Wasn't it just to make it not Legacy?
They wanted to make it a turn 4 format. They also wanted it to be a format that didn't look like previous standards or like best decks of previous standards. So in the beginning, they started out with that as their guidelines, and then they quickly kind of moved away from that without actually saying that they were moving away from that. And so now it's just kind of like, well, if a deck becomes too big of a share of the metagame, they'll just kind of throw a ban its way and see what happens. But
I actually kind of like where Modern's at. It's so distinctly different from Legacy that it's fine.
Yeah,
it's distinctly different from Stand. And I like
I'd be very sad if it was the same format.
That's why I'm cool with it. I just don't like it that much. I'm just not a fan of Modern. Yeah. I like Legacy. My favorite cards in Legacy are Brainstorm, Daze,
sure,
like Wasteland, Ponder. Like, those are cards you can't cast in Modern, so
yeah,
I'm gonna be fine.
Like, the thing that I like about Legacy is it seems like everybody's doing powerful things.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I never feel like I'm doing powerful things in Legacy. I always feel like I'm doing very fair things.
I don't know.
Just brainstorming. I'm just pondering.
Brainstorm's a very powerful.
I think it's fair.
A very powerful
I think it's very fair for me to be able to look at the top 3 cards of my deck and rearrange them.
You think it's fair to draw 3 cards for
Yeah.
1 blue mana?
I gotta put 2 cards back. I'm not Ancestring of Visions. I mean, you gotta put 2 cards back. Yeah, sure, you fetch away, but I gotta play fetches. Like, I can't. 1 mana's a lot in Legacy. No.
Would Force of Will help Modern?
No.
No.
I think Modern's fine. I don't think it needs to be fixed.
I don't think
Yeah.
I really don't think that there's a huge problem with Modern, and the numbers show it. People are showing up playing a ton of Modern.
I think it's a great format.
know.
It's not. You know what? It's very much kind of like a Ford. I would never buy a Ford, but I think they're great trucks.
No.
Do I look like I shouldn't own a truck? I know that.
Wasteland would help Modern? No, I don't know about that. I think Modern is fine, but it improves every format it's in. I don't think so.
We should make it in Standard. Let's just put it in Standard.
The thing is, I think in Standard it'd be the least broken.
To be honest, I like to see Friction and Dreadnought reprinted.
There you go.
Yeah, people could play it with that stupid card from Ixalan too, right? Yeah. Right? There's like that
I don't know.
Like Pachalo card.
There's the 3 mana Stifle Cycle Bird, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh what? Man, okay. Yeah, let's cards to reprint. Wasteland and Friction Dreadnought. Honestly, they should be in the next set. What's the next set? It's like, what is the next set?
We go into Ravnica next?
Oh yeah, I'll be in Ravnica. I'm sure there's like one hanging out in like the Demir sector. I don't like know almost anything about Modern. I just know KCI has a good deck. Yeah, it's fine. Make it the Busto format. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't change
the thing is,
Modern.
like, with bannings in general, there's always going to be a card that's on the top of, like, the list of power.
Have we ever had like a metagame where like, oh man, this is the best. Let's just stay here forever. No, like that's why I'm like laughing whenever people are like, there was a golden age in Legacy where we just lived in harmony, and like no, people are trying to get Termagoyf banned. Like everyone's like, there's always gonna be turmoil. There's always gonna be people complaining. It's just how Magic is. Like it's people, right? It's just like it's a real life. People. It doesn't matter what you do. People are going to find something that's wrong with it. Like, I don't know. There was a time when people probably thought Friction Dreadnought and Stifle was too absurd of a combo. And Captain QC probably got bullied at school because they were like you play unfair stuff. And, probably, you know what? So, like, yeah, there's always a time for everything.
So, Surgical taking out all of Toma's loams here. Toma still has a decent hand, though. Double crop rotation, Wasteland, and and a Grove.
I prefer. I just don't. I'll be honest with you. I just don't care about Modern. That's my problem. It's like I wish I could contribute more to this conversation. I just can't.
I feel like Twin was a weird banning to me. Like it was okay if their idea was to kind of open up blue decks into more types of things. And I think it did that. I feel like Jace getting unbanned was pretty sweet. Hasn't really done much, but it's pretty sweet. I feel like
I don't know. I just don't.
Oh.
I don't know.
Twin's less busted than Hollow One and Dredgevine. Yeah, I guess. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both on about the same power level, if you ask me.
Tarmo Twin,
yeah. Yeah, I played a lot of Tarmo Twin back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Legacy is the format that I play, and it's probably gonna be the last format I ever play. It's just the truth. So that's why I can't really add anything to this conversation.
There's very different formats, you know, and that's good.
Yeah,
there should be a lot of different formats.
Do I think Legacy should be a Pro Tour format? No.
Really?
No.
Interesting. I'd like to see one Legacy Pro Tour.
I would like to see the team format just come back.
That's fine. I'd take that.
No, Standard and Modern I think are great Pro Tour formats, especially Standard. I think Limited's.
I'm glad they got block constructed.
I don't have any interest in playing Limited, but I love seeing Limited at the Pro Tour. It's
Yep.
I mean, if you want to give people free wins, you can always build Twin and Legacy. Maybe I won't botch Fridays anymore.
All right, so Punishing Fire online.
No Mongoose, good card. 1-1.
Looks like Matt has a second surgical, so he might.
Well, but Matt's got a clock. 1-1.
So here comes crop rotation. And we're going to surgical the
Yeah.
Punishing Fire. But this is still not going to deal with what I think Toma's main plan here is just Merit Lage.
You think so? That Volcanic Belfast Strikes are going to give him problems, though. Oh, wow. Okay, this game I think this game may just be over.
Oh, did he surgical the crop rotation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. He didn't surgical crop. Did he have another surgical? No, he didn't. No, he's just showing him his crop rotation.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That was... Yeah, surgical's an insane card. But you know what? Sorry, we got to keep it. I'll make you a deal. We can ban surgical when we ban life from the limb. How about that? That's how I got to feel about that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, the card's insane. It's Phyrexian mana. You know another card's insane? Mental Misstep. Phyrexian mana. Name me another Phyrexian mana card.
Gutshot.
Not so insane.
Mutagenic Growth.
Not so insane.
Noxious Revival.
To be quite honest, in all honesty, if Gutshot should deal 2 damage. Because that's the power level that Phyrexian, that these other Phyrexian cards are at.
Yeah.
Oh, Gitaxian Probe. What?
Yeah, Gitaxian Probe.
Okay, ban Surgical, we ban Chancellor, and ban Life from Loam. We'll take that. We got that.
I think people, like, there's obviously matchups where you board.
Surgical, then.
So you surgical the crop rotation.
I would just ponder and preordain.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, because he saw the 2 crop rotations in hand off of his first surgical.
Yeah.
This does keep Punishing Fire going, though, so...
Oh, really? That's weird. Well, he's thinking that Nilmamongus is going to kill him. Duh. It's a 1-1.
We'll
it's probably
see.
Oh, he's ghost
We'll
scoring.
see,
Why
we'll
is he
see.
ghost scoring?
I don't know. He
What
doesn't
the
have
hell?
loams anymore.
Yeah, why the hell is he ghost scoring? Sorry, I can use the word hell. It's a real place. It's
Yeah,
like
you're
San
right.
Francisco. Like, I've been to San Francisco. I've been to hell. I've been all over the world.
And he knows that Matt has 3 basics. Matt showed him 3 basics last game. So, kind of an interesting play.
Yeah, if you without a basic swamp on board after you had a main phase in a game. Yeah, surgical's whatever.
I think people board surgical into a lot of matchups that they shouldn't.
Probably.
Like, it's obviously good in this matchup and should be brought in, but...
Yeah. You know, it'd help if we just didn't make lands a deck, then surgical wouldn't be as sought after. Right?
Alright, Tarmogoyf coming down.
I don't know. I mean, there's a time where you can get a brainstorm and you can mess up their brainstorm and their fetch and you can Thoughtseize them and surgical. There's plays, right? It's obviously you're just not connecting brainstorm is resolved, it's the end step, I'm surgicaling it.
Sure.
There's obviously some plays there, but I think being a negative EV play is definitely true. I mean, there's something to be said about if they have a threat basis and that's what you're doing, then you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I don't think it's a bad play, but I wouldn't be hey, my plan is to surgical their cantrips out the game. You know.
3rd surgical. Oh.
Lands is the most legitimate control deck in Legacy. I think it's a combo control deck, which basically makes me vomit. Land still has a lot of takeover again. Sure, land still can take over again. That's fine. I don't know about standstill. I mean, there's too many good 1-drops.
Alright, there's 2 Punishing Fires going.
Yeah, I think he did what he wanted to do. He surgicaled all the stuff, and he got in Tarmogoyf.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. My only thing with, that line is, like, games 2 and 3, like, we're looking to, like, hedge and establish dominance and, like, use our sideboard cards to make the difference. So, like, that's my only thing. I don't want to be stuck in a situation where I'm falling behind and I have surgicals.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you can surgical. I mean, ironically, you can surgical a Monastery Mentor, and then like Snapcaster surgical a Jace, and like Miracles just like starts to look at their decks and like, oh man, I can't win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's the main strategy, but
All right. So Matt takes the game and the match.
interesting. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's 4 rounds in the books.
It is. I would tell you we had a good night at Legacy, but I think it was atrocious. It was just terrible.
I thought it was pretty crazy. We
I
had some
want to
pretty crazy
apologize
matches.
for everything that you guys had to witness. So we had a good conversation. I liked your
For sure,
conversation.
yeah.
I feel better. You guys made me feel better. So I appreciate that.
We got Terry's therapy session done.
Yeah,
so.
we're done. So we got one more week before Richmond, right?
Yep.
And then, do we have one more week before
I
Richmond?
think we do.
Yeah, okay. We got one more week for Richmond. Be kind of fun to see how the metagame shapes up with what we're seeing online, Legacy Challenge and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for coming. Good points from all you guys. Making money tokens. Oh, okay. Makes sense. I was like, there's already a chick who makes monk tokens like in Le Provo. You don't need to make monk tokens. But I get what you're saying now. But Cabal Therapy session is concluded. The only thing I got to say is Pixie and Dreadnought's a mediocre card. And other than that, ban lands, ban Eldrazi Post, and it'll be morning in Legacy again.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for
You guys
joining
are
us.
great. Have a good weekend. Yeah, that's it.
We'll see you guys back for more Paper Legacy next Tuesday.
Yeah, should be good.